right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new. Thank you guys for being here. I need some feedback right now. Can you hear my streaming service seems to have or software glitched out. Can you guys hear me okay? Am I coming through? Because it won't tell me on my end. You can hear me. Okay, good. Yeah, that's weird. That's never happened before. But yeah, welcome back to the stream. Had to do a last second update here to the stream. Just as I started the stream, apparently Sony did announce the new PS5 model, which definitely wasn't expecting that today. And we haven't heard about this in quite some time, so I had to obviously update the stream title and the thumbnail very quickly to reflect this. They do have a blog post about it, so that's going to be a topic that we talk about today. Really, I don't think that's ever happened before. I don't think I've ever had some kind of PlayStation news break while like literally while the stream is getting ready to start. So let's see it. I don't know how I'm gonna do this because this is I'm quite the conundrum right now because my streaming software is glitched out, and specifically when it comes to adding, let me see if I can fix this, because I do want to add the image here so you guys can see what it looks like. Give me 1 second. I would have had this ready. Of course, it's not going to show up. Why would it show up? Here we go. All right, let me... so this is it. This is the new look, as they put it. New look for the PS5 model. Interesting, you know, we've been speculating for a long time how Sony was going to market this, and it seems like they decided to stick, which I think is smart, stick with showing a disc model and a digital model. I really thought that they were just going to show a single model, and it was just going to be the digital one, but... I mean, it doesn't really look much different. It doesn't look great, though. I don't know. I have to process this. Is this the slim model? Yes, this is. This is. All right, so I'm going to... Did they release a trailer for it as well? I'm going to let you guys know what topics I want to talk about today with you guys. Yeah, they did release a new 20-second trailer. That's really, really short. But I'm gonna talk about it in the blog post. So, all right, yeah, we're gonna be talking about a few different things today. You're saying no detachable disk drive? I don't know. That's why I got to read the blog post to find out. Nope, there is a detachable disk drive. I just looked at it. I'm actually gonna save this picture as well and bring it up momentarily. Again, I apologize. This is very last second. I would have had this set up already, but it occurred as the stream was going live. All right, so first off, thank you guys for being here. If you want to support my content and my channel, there are a couple of ways you can do that. Being here, watching the content, hit that like button for me. I'd really appreciate that. If you want to go above and beyond and support my content, there are a couple of ways you can do that. Number one, you can become a channel member. You gain access to exclusive perks. You get exclusive members-only content on a weekly basis, and you also get access to emojis you can use in the chat. If you are already a channel member, please consider gifting channel memberships. That helps out tremendously. It's a big thing we do here on the channel. So consider doing that if you have a channel membership already, and consider donating a super chat. Ask questions, give statements, opinions, whatever it might be. But you can kind of interact with the conversation a little bit more directly and also support what I'm doing here. So Big shout out and a big thank you to everybody who continues to support my channel. The topics we're going to be talking about today, well, we're going to be talking about the PS5 Slim model that was just announced, or the new, I don't know, they're not calling it a Slim. It's going to be impossible not to call it this, but the new look of the PS5 that Sony just announced finally. So we're going to discuss that. We're going to be talking about the lineup for the PS5 in early 2024 because it's a pretty crazy lineup, and there is something rumored to be joining that early 2024 lineup that looks like it might flesh it out even further and make it even crazier. There's actually a couple things rumored. We're going to be talking a little bit about Metal Gear Solid Delta. We have a interesting rumor regarding this that I think is, it's just worth going over because we haven't heard anything from from Konami or Metal Gear Solid in quite some time. So we'll talk about that. We're talking a little bit about Spider-Man 2. We're talking about GTA 6 and how there is currently a rumor that the visual leap for GTA 6 is actually going to be greater than what we saw from GTA 5 to Red Dead Redemption 2, which is quite shocking if true, because that was a massive, absolutely massive visual leap. So it's hard to believe it could get better than that. But yeah, these are some of the topics we're going to discuss today. So one more time, guys, before we dive into it, make sure you hit that like button. We have the Leninator FFC member for 3 months. It says, watching from Scotland. Well, thank you so much for that, man. So again, it's always crazy to think that there are people from all around the world watching the stream. We have Arnie Vesper with a super chat saying, playing Sekiro while listening, the good life. Well, enjoy, man. Enjoy the stream while you're, I'm assuming, doing well in Sekiro. That'll be my assumption. But yeah, let's dive right into the new Slim PS5. I'm going to put a different picture up here that shows you the detachable disk drive. So there we go. This is apparently how the detachable disk drive works. And I'm going to read from the blog post. New look for the PS5 console this holiday season. Smaller PS5 design comes with 1 terabyte of storage for PS5 and PS5 Digital Edition. The new model provides an option to add an Ultra Blu-ray disc drive to the digital PS5. So it says here, as the holiday season approaches, we are excited to share that we have a new PS5 model launching to address the evolving needs of players. Our engineering and design teams collaborated on a new form factor that provides greater choice and flexibility. The same technology features that makes the PS5 the best place. I'm getting this all mixed up. Let me try again. They say the same technology features that make PS5 the best place to play are packed into a smaller form factor, along with an attachable Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive and a 1 terabyte SSD for more internal storage. The new PS5 has been reduced in volume by more than 30% and weight by 18% and 24% compared to the previous models. There are 4 separate cover panels with the top portion in a glossy look. Oh my God. Why? Sony, why? Why would you go with gloss? Oh, geez. While the bottom remains in matte, the whole thing should be matte. The whole thing should be matte. If you purchase the PS5 Digital Edition, you can add the Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive for PS5 later, as it will be sold separately for $80. $80 US. Okay, so really quick, before I continue, I'm a little bit surprised by that. I'm a little bit surprised that it's going to be $80. I really thought it would have been $100. I thought it would have been $100. I mean, granted, it's not a massive difference. It's a $20 difference, but basically that reduces I'm assuming that reduces the price of the PS5 to $480. I don't know, but I expected it to be $100. Let's keep reading here. The new PS5 model will be available starting this November in the US at select local retailers and from PlayStation Direct. Where available, it will continue to roll out globally in the following months. Once inventory of the current PS5 model has sold out, the new PS5 will become the only model available. The recommended retail price for... Oh, okay. What? Wait, what? Hold on. The recommended retail prices for the new PS5 model. Digital edition, $450. What? Hold on. They raised the price? No way. Are you kidding me? So the wow. Okay. Wow, Sony, you're just they are just delivering, aren't they? Exactly what players ask for. Thank you for that. God damn, dude. You got to be shitting me. I thought it was going to be 400. That's how much the digital model is now. Are you kidding me, Sony? You're saving money on the production of this, but you're raising... We can't even blame Jim Ryan now, can we? We can't even blame Jim Ryan. He said he's retiring. You're saying they increased... Did they? I don't think they increased the storage, man. I think the well, I have 1 terabyte, I guess. Yeah, what, there's 825. Man, I don't know, man. That's some shady shit. A horizontal stand will be included with the new PS5 model. Also, a new vertical stand compatible with all PS5 models will be sold separately. What the fuck? What? Okay, so... Oh my God. What are they doing? Like, this is so stupid. Hold on. So you're... okay, let me get this straight. Sony makes the PS5 look worse. Okay? They add a feature to it that nobody asked for in a detachable disk drive, which I guess that's not the worst thing. They make the console look worse. They raise the price for the digital model from $400 to $450, and now they're letting us know that the stand it comes with only works for it horizontally, and if you want to stand it up vertically, you have to buy a separate stand. What the actual fuck are they doing? Oh, hold on. Look at this, though. What? Hold on. No way, dude. Okay. This is getting crazy to me. I'm looking at this picture and it's hard to tell, but I'm looking at it. I got to bring this up for you guys. Look at this. Look at what's holding up the PS5 here. Is this the stand? Is that what they're called? This is the stand that it comes with? Look at this. Hold on, I got to blow this up. What is this? Is that like, what is that? What is that? It's just like a kickstand? Are you kidding me? There's no way, dude. There's no way. There's no way. Dude, it looks like a paper clip. Sony, what are you doing? I gotta zoom in even further on this, man. What even is this? Who did this? Did Jim Ryan know? Is this why Jim Ryan retired? Jim Ryan was like, yeah, this is a disaster. I'm out, man. No way. How do you make it worse? Oh, God. So that, just to be clear, that's the, I got to shrink this. That's the one it comes with. Okay. That's the horizontal stand that the PS5 ships with. But the nicer, the stand that's $30, it does look a lot nicer, but it's $30. Oh my God. What are they doing? What are they doing? Well, there you go. That's the new PS5, man. Oh, Sony. Why? Why? Sorry, the Batasai says, I'll wait for the PS5 Pro. Yeah, I can't wait to see what kind of stand the PS5 Pro comes with, man. Dude, this is a step back in all regards. I'm like, I'm just, I don't know, dude. I don't know. We asked Sony for more communication, and they're like, so how about this toothpick for a stand for a worse looking PS5? I'm not buying this thing, straight up. Like, it doesn't look good. It doesn't look good at all. I mean, it's yeah, I get that it's smaller and it's slimmer, but it's just like, why? The current way they're doing it with the PS5 is perfectly fine. Is it large? Yeah. I mean, it's nice that they'll be able to produce them with less, components and whatnot, but I don't know, man. Something about it just isn't right here. The thing that I cannot get over is they're selling you a separate stand if you want to put it up vertically. You've got to be fucking kidding me with that, Sony. Like, you have to be kidding me with that. You've been selling a PS5 model for the past 3 years at this point that comes with a stand that lets you put it down horizontally or put it down vertically. I understand they're trying to cut costs here, but it's just, this is a step back. I saw somebody saying giving customers options is a step back. I mean, we already have the option. Customers literally already have the option, and that option was cheaper. You want a $400 digital PS5? There it is. Now, if you want to get a digital PS5, $50 more bucks. 1 terabyte of storage. I mean, I guess, but does that justify a $50 price hike? I mean, the PS5 right now has 825 gigabytes. So it's like, I'm paying $50 for 175 gigs. I mean, it just doesn't add up to me. Here's another picture. And so you can see here at the bottom with this photo, you see that silver stand, the rounded silver stand. That's the one that costs $30. That's the one that costs. Dude, Sony's getting. They're out of their minds. Like, I don't know what they're doing, man. I mean, it's not like that big of a deal because at this point it's just like, well, whatever. This is what they went with. I mean, the detachable disk drive is cool, I guess. But I don't know. I think there's even less reason now to get a digital PS5, truthfully. And another question I have. Here's another question I have. So we have been, we've been seeing Sony kind of market the PS5 consoles with these different colored plates and whatnot. They don't say anything here. Is that just going to stop? Is that something that was only going to be available for the first model? And I mean, are they going to sell those color? Are you going to be able to choose if you go on like PlayStation Direct or something? Like, oh, I have the newer model, so I don't know. You're paying $50 for the gloss. Oh, that's a cursed statement, man. $50 for the. Yeah, what's up with the gloss too? Like, why? I feel like going with gloss is a step back as well. It is what it is, man. I'm just, I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me go check the chat. What do you guys? You're saying the PS5 now costs $530. Well, no, it's still $500 for the disc model, but yeah, it's like you're losing the ability to stand it up vertically now. I mean, I feel like for a lot of people that might actually matter though. I mean, I know it's smaller, but it's still a big console. And I just think that there's probably people out there where like they kind of have to put it vertically if they don't want it to sit on the floor or something or look ridiculous. I mean, the look of it, not a big fan. Not a big fan of the look. You can tell it's smaller, which is nice, but those slits in the middle, something about them just isn't sitting right with me. It just looks. I mean, I know. I guess they had to do that, right, to make the disk drive detachable. So they had to put these two slits at the side. But it just, you know what it gives me this kind of feeling where if you don't know that the disk drive is detachable, it just gives me this feeling like they're trying too hard to look cool. You know, like check it out. We got these little slits here. You look pretty badass, right? It's like, I don't know, man. The original PS5 looks better in my opinion. It does. I feel like this is just I don't know. I guess I'm saying, like, I feel like here are some things I'll say. You want to go with this look for the PS5? Fine. The look is whatever. I'll be honest, like the look of the console doesn't really mean much to me. It's just it is what it is. I think it looks worse, but it's not, doesn't matter that much. I think Sony really should have found a way to make it so that they don't have to sell a vertical stand for $30 separately. I really think that, and I get it, like maybe some people think I'm overreacting to this, but it's just stupid. I don't know what else to call it, which is like, why? Like you're basically going to give me a paper clip. That's what it looks like. Basically going to give me a paper clip to stand this thing horizontally. I just don't understand. I don't understand how you take that step back. The digital's $450. Let me go see what people are saying. I'm curious. Let me go to. So I'm going to check the comments at the bottom of this blog post, and let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. I missed a paragraph here at the end. They say, we are 10 days away from the launch of Marvel Spider-Man 2 with additional games, including Alan Wake 2, Call of Duty. With these fantastic games coming in addition to recent releases such as EA. Okay, they're just listing games that are coming. That's fine. Are there no comments yet? Maybe I'm too early. Let me check. I'm refreshing it. Oh, here we go. No Pulse Elite release date. I thought a few years after being in the general public, we were supposed to have a price cut, not a price increase. It seems like, so it doesn't seem like there's any overly negative or overly positive. It seems like there's not even a lot of comments here. Let me go to Twitter real quick and check their actual post, because I'm sure it'll just be positive, surely nothing negative here. This is awesome, so everyone can get it and still buy physical games. I mean, I think so. I will say one of the cooler aspects of this, taking the good with the bad and the bad with the good. The good here is that it is true if you do decide to buy the digital only model, and if at any point down the line you kind of regret it, or you find that you actually want to start buying games physically, you have the option to buy that disc drive. I think that's actually pretty good. That is definitely a plus, because the way it is now is if you do opt in for the digital model PS5, that's it, right? You're locked in and you have no other option. So that is definitely a plus here, but somebody put that picture here, like the before and after. It's like of that dude, and the only difference is on one side he has a toothpick in his mouth and he has a slightly like more intense look on his face. Oh man. I don't know. There's not a lot of negativity right now from what I can tell. Like, I'm not seeing people being overly negative. Maybe most of them just didn't read the the details. I'm checking Shinobi's tweet here. He is giving all the details. This person says, I really like the fact that they're still going to sell 2 different SKUs instead of 1. Yeah, that is true. I would have thought that they were just going to go with the 1 and just let you know you can buy the the disk drive. Such a bizarre design. Looks like the wish.com version of the PS5. Oh, I mean, it kind of does. The PS5 digital edition got more expensive and the vertical stand sold separately. Did I read that right? Yep, you did read that right. Yeah, I mean, I'll be waiting for the Pro. Truthfully. That's what I'm going to be doing. I just don't have a desire. I don't have a desire to buy this thing. And I notice I got a couple more chats here. Really quick, let me give a shout out to Exley3000. I just noticed this. Exley3000 gifted 5 memberships starting off the day. Sorry if I seem a little bit flustered or caught off guard. There's just a lot happening at one time. Unexpected. But actually, dude, thank you so much, man. Thank you for showing up, and thank you for once again gifting more memberships to the channel. So let me add that to the counter. Actually, starting the day off right here. Always doing some heavy lifting for the community. So shout out to you for that, actually. Let's get some W's in the chat. I see Dark Horse saying, dog, they are robbing the community. Well, I don't know that I'm looking at it that way, because it's like the assumption is if you already have a PS5, like, you don't have to, this isn't for you, frankly. Like, if you already bought a PS5, this clearly is not for you. This is for, people who are going to get a PS5 in the future. And I think Sony's aware of that. I think Sony is now thinking about the Pro, and they think, well, most people who have a PS5 now, or not most, but a lot of them are going to want to upgrade to the Pro, or at least some of them. So, and we have Nas. Nas coming in, gifting 5 more memberships as well, following up Exley.
Thank you.
Let's get some W's in the chat for Nas. Dude, thank you so much for that, bud. Nas brings us up to 10 members on the day, which is great to see. So we're already 1/5 of the way to our goal, which is very kind of you guys, very generous. Really appreciate that support. Let me see here. We have Michael Lynch with a $5 chat, and he says that horizontal stand is actually well done. It flips out for easy use when you're not using it. It folds right back into the system, and it's light. Does it flip out? I guess that, you know what? Maybe that does make sense. Maybe that isn't so bad at that point. It just looks so silly, in my opinion, because I feel like with the PS5 now, you get this like really nice, dense. I mean, it's not that dense, but it feels nice. This black stand, you can put it vertically, you can put it horizontally, but I understand why Sony is doing everything they're doing with the PS5 right now. It's all in an effort to keep it streamlined, to make sure that they can cut down, on the amount of components and materials needed. Did they actually show the stand in the trailer? Because I'm kind of curious now. There's a 20-second trailer. I'm just gonna watch it really quickly. Sorry, I had to. God damn it! Oh, my stream better not get flagged for that. I'm watching it now. Same immersive power. No, they just show it standing vertically. They don't show it horizontally. Dude, if my stream gets flagged for that now or copyright, I'm going to be fucking pissed. It's like 3 seconds. I think I caught it in time. I mean, I want to see I want to see it. I want to see how the stand that's built. Is it built in, or I don't know. Saying it's on the blog page. I mean, I was on the blog, but I didn't see a I don't know. Maybe I didn't observe it closely enough. I only have the image that I put up earlier, and I just really can't tell. Well, yeah, it is what it is. I mean, basically, if you buy a PS5, you have to put it horizontal. Actually says, frankly, your PS5 should be put vertically. You think so? Well, I mean, that's actually, yeah, I have to agree with that. That's how they market it. That is how they market it. I have mine horizontally, but I don't know, man. I do not know. We have Street Shadow. Thank you for the chat, man. You're saying price jump is a weird one, but as someone who works in games, inflation is kicking everyone's ass. This is the reality. I want executives to take less money, but that isn't the reality. Being pragmatic. Yeah, that is the hard truth, man. As you can see, look around, everything's going up in price. It's not surprising to me that Sony is going to do something like this at this time. But you can kind of tell that they're not trying to bring too much attention to it, which is kind of funny to me. You can tell with the way that they're just like, yeah, here's the new PS5. Maybe you can click this blog post if you really want to, but they raised the price of PlayStation Plus. Now the price of the digital PS5 has went up $50. It's just like, yikes, man. This is I mean, economic realities aside, it's just not a good look for them, truthfully. Yeah, I see Tom Henderson in the chat. He says it's finally announced. Yeah, shout out to Tom Henderson, man. You called it. You were the first one out here. It was a long time ago. I think it was at like the beginning of this year, or maybe even further back. He said that he said that Sony was going to be doing this, and lo and behold, they did. They did it. September 2022. Yeah, wow. Okay, it's been over a year. Yeah, impressive stuff, Tom. Appreciate that inside scoop. Seriously. It's always interesting to hear what Sony's doing with anything these days, because you just don't know. And I think when you reported on that, a lot of people didn't really believe it, because it did sound kind of hard to believe, right? Like, really, they're just going to do a detachable disk drive? And some people, I think, were just like, nah, it's not going to happen. But here we are. Here we are. So I guess the PS5 Pro is next. Yeah. Yeah, that means Tom is right about the Pro, too. I guess we'll be hearing more about that in the coming months. But Street Shadow, I get what you're saying, man. It's a tough thing. I mean, on one hand, I try to be realistic about it and understand that the world economy right now is not good at all. Inflation is, it's real, and we're all feeling it, and it's going to impact the decision making of these companies. And Sony is obviously going to consider that as well. But on the other hand, I just feel like this is not really what Sony needs right now, where it's like, yeah, we did increase the price of PlayStation Plus, and hopefully you guys will be okay with that. And by the way, this new digital model is going to be $50 more than the original digital model, and there's going to be a $30 stand that you can buy separately if you want to put it vertically. It's just like, come on, it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Somebody in the chat is saying, ask Tom if Sony will make a less pointless handheld. Yeah, Tom, I don't know if you're still here, man, but you'll have to maybe do some digging. What's going on in the handheld front with Sony? I mean, they're doing the the Portal, but he says he hasn't seen one yet. Hasn't heard anything. It'll be interesting. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if this is kind of like a test bed for Sony. If they end up seeing that there is decent demand, maybe they'll try to take it a step further and be like, you know what, maybe we should go with a more traditional handheld. Tom, you know what you should do if possible? You should see if you can get any It'd probably be very difficult, but you should see if you can get any inside information on what's going on with Naughty Dog right now, because we're hearing a bunch of stuff about the multiplayer game and Bungie and whatnot, but everything we're hearing is super vague. It's just super vague stuff where it's like, okay, so what does it mean? No one really knows. And Mrs. MBG in the chat, member for 5 months, says, nice shirt. Did someone get that for your birthday? They have great taste. Yes, somebody did get that for me. Somebody did get this shirt for me. They do have great taste. Actually, yeah, I forgot to let everybody know, but good thing Mrs. MBG is here to let us know. Let me actually shrink this. New Metallica and Justice for All shirt. My new favorite shirt. She got that for me for my birthday. So shout out to Mrs. MBG. Thank you. She had to make sure everybody knew. We have Pradinsky, who says, this got me more worried for that PS5 Pro now. I mean, yeah, dude, look, the PS5 Pro is going to at minimum be $600, right? $600 minimum. There's no way it's going to be more than or less than $600. Tom in the chat says the problem with Naughty Dog at the moment is that you have a lot of unhappy people, so corroboration needs to be extensive. Having emotion, people feed info leads to inaccuracies. That's why everything at Naughty Dog is so vague. That's actually a really good point. That's a really good point, and something that I didn't really consider. I think when we got that, when we get some of these reports from like Bloomberg or Jason Schreier, I you do sometimes get the vibe that it's just maybe this is information coming from a couple of unhappy developers or something, but it's not necessarily representative of the entire team and the bigger picture. So it makes sense. Yeah, I guess at this point, we'll probably learn more when things cool down and the dust settles. But Pradinsky, yeah, the PS5 Pro is going to have to at least be $600, man. That's what I'm thinking. Will it be more than $600? It's possible. It is. I mean, it's clear that Sony they're becoming more comfortable with just embracing like these premium price points. So it could be. It could be. And Michael Lynch again says the stand is functionally well done. This isn't a beauty contest. Yeah, that's true. That is true. I guess if you're talking about function, does it get the job done? Does it get the job done well? Yeah. Does it look good doing so? Could look better. I can get behind that notion. I can. I mean, obviously we want things to look as good as they can, but at the end of the day, it is the function, right, that matters most. Yeah, I appreciate Tom. Appreciate all the info you've been giving us, man. I look forward to hopefully getting more hardware info from you in the coming months and going into 2024, because you've been on point, man. Absolutely. And then we also have Street Shadow again saying, at least this redesign is better than the PS3 with the slide opening disk drive. Oh, yeah, that was the worst. Yeah, that was really bad. I remember that. I remember people were clowning on that so bad because it was just like, really? Oh, man, this is a step back. Yeah, it could be worse. It could be. I just am wondering. So as usual, after my initial abrupt reaction, because that's what this is, I have to take a step back and ask the question, how is the wider market going to feel about this? Right? Like, how is the more casual gamer that's going to be buying this PS5 when eventually this becomes the only PS5 you can buy, are they going to care at all? Are they going to care that the digital model is now $50 more expensive? Are they going to care that you would have to buy a vertical stand separately? Or is it just going to be a situation where it's like, no one really cares? I have a feeling that, yeah, no one's really going to care. And truthfully, I don't even think I care. I mean, I care right now because it's just I'm learning the information. It's right in front of me. But at the end of the day, it's like I'm happy with my PS5. I'm looking forward to the Pro, and to me, this is, I don't know. I mean, I guess I try to imagine, like, what if this was the initial reveal of the PS5? I'd probably be much happier about it, right? If this was the initial reveal of the PS5, I'd be like, this is amazing. That horizontal stand looks incredible. Look at it. I guess it could have been worse. I do wonder, man. I do wonder what this means for. I know this is a little bit far out, in terms of finishing up this generation, but I do wonder if this is kind of laying the foundation for what we can expect with the PlayStation 6 design to a degree, right? Where with the PlayStation 6, maybe they're going to do the same thing. Or maybe with the PlayStation 6, they could decide it's going to be a digital-only console. You can put a disc drive on it, right? Like they're not going to sell two separate SKUs this time. It's just going to be one SKU, digital only. But if you have a disc drive, or you can buy it separately for $80. I don't know. Maybe it's too far. Maybe they don't even know yet. Maybe they want to see how this goes first. Are they still using liquid metal on the PS5s? That's a good question. I don't know. I actually have no idea. I mean, Igor says yes. Lorcan says they changed it. I've heard that they updated and changed quite significantly, like the way that they handle the cooling now. But King Sam, a member for 5 months, says, I own the PS3 Super Slim and I love the slidable disc drive, LOL. Interested to see what the PS5 Pro ends up looking like and how powerful it is. Dude, the PS5 Pro should have a slidable disc drive. Now, that would be great. It would be great because it would be just such a great callback to that, to the Super PS3 Slim, or the PS3 Super Slim. And it would just be, it would catch everybody so off guard. Like, whoa, that doesn't seem like something Sony would do. I would support it. just because it's chaotic in a way, Watch your tongue, MBG. Yeah. Some people out there would absolutely lose their minds over something like that. Ooh, yeah, that would be a really good idea. Make the PS5 Pro look just like a PS3, basically. That would be really cool with the George Foreman design. George Foreman grill, yeah. I would be all for that. I think people would actually, believe it or not, I think people would love that, right? Because the PS3, I think a lot of people do look back on it fondly now. Like the PS3 got off to a really rough start, but I think people over time have they've changed their tune on it a little bit. At least the original model. Maybe it'll become like a nostalgia thing. Do you think it's worth upgrading to a PS5 Pro from a normal PS5, as most people generally don't have an 8K TV? I wish I could tell you. I'll tell you this. We have to wait to see how Sony markets the PS5 Pro. We don't know if they're really going to lean into the 8K stuff. If they lean in heavily into the 8K stuff and you feel pressured like you should upgrade for 8K, I would highly advise against that. Basically, what I'm trying to say here is don't make 8K resolution the reason why you would upgrade to a Pro, because it's just not relevant. Sony will market it. I think what we heard is going to be like an 8K performance mode or something. I don't even know what that means. Who even has an 8K capable screen, right? No one does, or very, very few people do. So if you buy a digital PS5 for $450, I just realized that if you do end up buying the disc drive, that brings it over $500. Wow. So I guess you better think hard about what you're going to go for, digital or physical. The PS5 Pro is rumored to be a ray tracing beast. Yeah, that's what we've been hearing. I'm really interested to see how the PS5 Pro lands, because we know now, it's pretty much confirmed, that Microsoft is not doing a more powerful console. I think they are going to do a refresh for the Series X, where it's going to be like a cylinder, basically. The X can, maybe is what they'll call it. I don't know. But it's not going to be any more powerful. It's going to have the same specifications as the current Xbox Series X. But the PS5 Pro is seemingly going to have, from what we've been hearing, the PS5 Pro is going to have about double their performance, give or take, from what we know. And the PS5 that we have now, it's going to be about double. So it'll be really interesting to see. I mean, we could see a scenario where come this time next year, Sony's rolling out a PS5 Pro for maybe $600. I'll just stick with the $600 price point for now. It's going to be, twice as powerful or performing as the current PS5. And then Nintendo will be rolling out maybe a $450 Nintendo Switch 2. And then I guess Microsoft will be rolling out the X-Can. Which I can't, dude. It's gonna be so weird if Microsoft actually goes with that cylindrical design, because you guys are called Xbox, okay? You have to at least make it some kind of box, some kind of rectangular shape of some kind. If you go with a cylindrical shape, you can't. It just goes against the name. MD, you're saying PlayStation 6 will likely be Zen 6, RDNA 5. Really? I haven't been keeping up, man. I haven't been keeping up. The question I have, because when the recent Xbox leak happened, there was this massive Xbox leak. The next generation Xbox leaked out, apparently. And, it was heavily implied. It wasn't confirmed, but it was heavily implied that Microsoft may go with NVIDIA when it comes to the next generation Xbox and not AMD. And I really started to think at that point, like, is it possible that Sony could end up doing that as well? Or is Sony more likely to just stick with AMD? Yeah, it'll be a fascinating thing to watch unfold. I mean, it's obviously too early to tell, but I think I was listening to Digital Foundry break it down, and they were the ones that were insinuating that it sounds more like, basically all the features and stuff that they were mentioning. They said it seems like they could be thinking about going with NVIDIA this time. So that would be very interesting. Cuddy Can't Hang, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're saying the PS5 Pro will add pegs to complement the kickstand to pull off some snazzy BMX tricks for an additional $50. Oh my God, Cuddy Can't Hang. BMX Mongoose. Oh, what is happening? What is happening? Oh man, pegs. You got to be careful with that terminology there, man. You got to be careful. But Cuddy Can't Hang, thank you for the super chat, man. I do appreciate that. B Flesher says, MBG, it's very likely the PS5 Pro is $650 to $700. At the price, I think it will be very low volume, like a few million. Yeah, it could be more expensive than $600. I will tell you this. I say this as somebody who is very enthusiastic about, the PS5 console. If they're going to go more than $600, they really got to sell me on it. They do. Like, they really have to impress me, because the thing is, I'm looking at the games that are, we're about to play Spider-Man 2, right? Spider-Man 2 is coming out in just 10 days. And, they're saying that they're going to have a performance mode that runs at 60 FPS. Ray tracing is going to be turned on, and it's likely going to be upscaled. I think they're using some kind of, I forget what kind of technique Insomniac uses, but it's basically going to look like 4K or very close to it. And you just kind of begin to ask yourself at that point, like, I mean, I know it can get better, right? Like, I know that Sony and Mark Cerny can produce hardware that can produce even better results, but it's just that if it's going to be priced more than $600, I'm going to leave it to them, man. Like, you got to impress me, because I'm already still kind of impressed with what you're doing with Spider-Man 2 right now on the PS5. And that'll be really fun to watch. They could be doing that with a game like Wolverine and other games that have yet to be announced. At this point, it seems like Naughty Dog's next game is going to be developed for the PS5 Pro. All right, let me see here. Double the power doesn't impress you with better ray tracing? I mean, it does. It sounds impressive, and I can imagine it looking impressive. But I guess I'm just sitting here thinking to myself, like, let's say in 2024 we get a PS5 Pro update for Spider-Man 2, right? I would love to see that. I would love to see a comparison. This is Spider-Man 2 running on a base model PS5 in fidelity mode or in performance mode, and this is Spider-Man 2 running on a PS5 Pro. And I would not be surprised at all if we see that in the future and it's like, wow, okay, yeah, I'm going to have to upgrade to the PS5 Pro because that looks insane. That looks absolutely insane. I'll probably end up getting a PS5 Pro no matter what, truthfully. But now I'm wondering, like, are they going to keep the same design philosophy here? What do you guys think? Do you think when Sony rolls out the PS5 Pro, it's going to look very similar to the new PS5 model that we're looking at now? Like, you think it's going to have like the strip in the middle? Jay Shako saying it's going to be the same, bro. Same. Do you think Sony could go the other way and be like, it's going to look different and it's going to be come in black just to make it stand out and, I don't know, kind of, differentiate itself from the PS5? That would actually be pretty random. No, I don't think they're going to do that. It would be cool if they did that. Black and yellow. Yeah, I don't think they're going to go black and yellow. I'm really curious to know now, actually, what they're going to do with the covers. We need more info. We need more info, Sony. Don't leave us in the dark here. People want to know, can I make my PS5 pink now? Or is that not a possibility? What about black, Full gloss black. Oh, man. I would not buy the PS5 Pro if it was full gloss black. I'm just kidding. I would. I still would. But I'll never understand the design decision to go with gloss. And I guess it does look nice. It looks nice and shiny, but I never liked gloss because it gets scratched up too easily. Simply put, it just scratches way too easily. I've always liked matte better. Why is MEG wearing glasses? I do wear glasses sometimes. I decided to wear it today because I want to have better vision. It's as simple as that. I want to have better vision today. Well, I think that's going to wrap up the first topic here, guys. Again, a very unexpected topic. I wasn't expecting to be covering this today, but as soon as I put my stream out, this news dropped. I see PS5 Slim is trending and PS5 Pro is trending. Let me go see what some people are saying really quickly. Tom Henderson posts, the PlayStation 5 detachable disk drive, which I reported in September 2022, has been announced. Never doubt. Tom out here flexing. He should be flexing because he was on the money, man. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just having I'm having trouble gauging people's reactions to this right now because I'm not seeing. Somebody's saying they're taking a page out of Apple's book. Well, there we go. There it is. That's the new PS5 model, the new look. Anyway, I feel like all my questions for this thing are now answered, except for one. And again, it just is, when is Sony going to let us know whether or not you can use your plates that you bought, or if you're going to need to buy new ones? Saying MVG needs some background music on his stream. What do you guys think? Should I add some background music to my stream in the future? I've always been skeptical of that. Igor definitely wants it. I mean, maybe one day I could experiment. Some really low, chill background music. I don't know. It would help. It would make me feel more comfortable during dead air, when I'm like reading something or thinking. It just wouldn't be awkward silence. But at the same time, I've always been very skeptical of adding music to videos and to streams, basically anytime I'm talking, because I'll be honest, when I'm clicking on people's videos, I hate background music. I do. I don't care how subtle it is. I don't care how relaxing it is. Like, it's just taking away from your voice. And I'm here to hear your voice and listen to what you have to say. So anytime I hear background music, I just end up thinking to myself, like, it would be better if it wasn't there. In my opinion. But some people love it, Some people love it. Josh says, I just grabbed a house, MBG. My super chats will be sparse for a while, but I'm excited to make a new living room, the ultimate gaming room, with a 70-inch OLED. Well, congratulations, Josh. I'm happy for you. That's great news. And yeah, man, go crazy. That sounds amazing. A 70-inch OLED in the ultimate gaming room. Hell yeah, dude. Love to hear it. And you have another chat here underneath. You're saying New York at night is going to look wild AF on everyone's OLEDs in Spider-Man 2. Also, if Final Fantasy 16 doesn't win Best Soundtrack at the Game Awards, we riot hard. Yeah, dude, the Game Awards are approaching. Dude, Spider-Man 2, I'm just basically trying to stay in the dark right now. I am. I'm trying to just not expose myself to anything I don't want to regarding this game, because things are leaking. But if you do have an OLED, yeah, I mean, playing this game, New York at night, I agree. It's probably going to look pretty crazy, dude. I'm excited. Speaking of Final Fantasy 16, I just want to mention, I started watching this movie with my wife last night. It's called The Boy. I think The Boy 2, Brahms Returns, or something like that. But it's this horror movie, and you know who's in it. I don't know if he plays a bigger part. I actually I got to finish watching it. The actor who plays Sid in Final Fantasy 16, he was in this movie. I'm like, that's Sid. No, not Tifa. From Final Fantasy 16, it was the actor who played Sid. He's actually in this movie. And I was like, that is really awesome. Very unexpected. But yeah, he has that unmistakable voice. So Josh, I appreciate the super chat, man. No, Phil Spencer's not in the movie, as far as I'm aware. Well, that's the first topic. New PS5 model announced. It looks slightly different, mostly the same. Matt, you're saying showcase soon? I don't think so, man. I don't think there's going to be a showcase soon. I think the next time we're going to get any announcements from Sony. I think it's going to be at I think it's going to be at the Game Awards. That's my assumption anyway. But no showcase. All right, I'm going to get this image. I'm just going to keep the image up, I think, for a little while. Let me see. What's the next topic in line here? Saying check Daniel Mod's tweet about the PS Slim. I would, but he has me blocked. What did he say? Can you tell me? Wasn't Uncharted Lost Legacy announced at the Game Awards? Dude, I put out a video yesterday where I talked about the Game Awards and how Sony is likely going to be there, right? Sony's very likely going to be at the Game Awards with some announcements. And, you know, I saw somebody was saying, like, do we have any evidence of this? And honestly, the evidence is every year Sony shows up with something at the Game Awards. Something. And last year they had a pretty decent showing. They had a pretty decent showing. Let me see here. Yeah, I don't know why I'm blocked by him, by the way. Oops. I have no idea why I never interacted with him. It is what it is. But all right, so that's the topic for the PS5 Slim. We're gonna move on to I'm trying to figure out which topic I want to talk about first. Do we want to talk about Metal Gear Solid Delta, or do we want to talk about the lineup, the PS5's lineup for the first 3 months of 2024? Because we have a couple of rumors regarding some games. Maybe we could talk about Metal Gear. It's been a little while. We'll cover both topics. I'll go with Metal Gear first, because the thing about this Metal Gear rumor, I do gotta give you guys a warning. There's really no source. Like, it could be totally made up. It could be true, but we haven't heard literally anything about Metal Gear Solid Delta. So I figured, I just want an excuse to talk about it. So we'll talk about it. Okay. This comes from Gaming Leaks and Rumors, and this is what they say. Metal Gear Solid Delta is using Unreal Engine. News from Unreal Fest 23 New Orleans. I managed to chat with a few developers who also worked on the game. I will not be using their company name to put them in jeopardy, just that they are in one of the art studios who have mainly assisted with Konami's internal development team with art. This is, again, in regards to Metal Gear Solid Delta. The game's environments are almost fully done, and they've been working on it for almost 3 years, and we should expect a release date announcement. The game design has not changed a single bit. There is no open world. It's a full-on facial uplift. All the environments are done from the ground up. Main reason is that Konami is playing this one really close to the chest, and they knew changing the game without Kojima would cause them unnecessary PR issues, so the game is staying the same. The team I spoke to were environment artists. They didn't give information about the characters or voiceovers, but they had no reason to believe anything about the story or acting has changed. So it's actually worth noting that's been confirmed. They are using the same voiceover from Metal Gear Solid 3. They're not redoing the voices. They're just using the same ones. They mentioned the usage of level streaming, so we could perhaps assume the full game may use seamless transitions between the levels instead of clear-cut fade in and out of black. And yeah, so it's again, we don't know if this is to be believed. It sounds, I don't know why somebody would lie about this, because they're not saying anything. They're not saying anything like surprising. It's actually very believable, everything they're saying. But the one thing that really kind of stuck out to me here is the fact that, again, if this is to be believed, they are not making any changes. They are not making any changes to the gameplay. I mean, what do you guys think about that? Oh, hold on. Guys, I'll be right back. Okay, I apologize about that guy. Wow. All right. These solicitors, man, I'll tell you. I'll tell you what. I'm over here. I'm I'm over here. I'm like, yo, I'm streaming, I'm talking, and I get a knock at the door, and I didn't recognize. I was like, this looks like it could be important. I'm not entirely sure. Dude, it's a fucking solicitor. And I'm like, I gotta go, man. Like, I am a little busy right now. He's asking me about my candle in the window or some shit. And I'm like, dude, you gotta be kidding me. I got him. Background music would have been perfect right now. I really genuinely thought it was something important, but it wasn't at all. It wasn't at all. Oh, man. I am annoyed. I am annoyed. And it put me in such an awkward position because I had to be like really rude to this guy. Like, I didn't want to be rude, but I was like, dude, he keeps trying to talk to me. Like, I just gotta tell you one thing. Like, dude, I don't care. Like, I gotta go, bro. And I just shut the door. Yeah, I should have opened the door holding some nunchucks. What were they selling? I have no idea. I have no idea. Could have been too. Who knows what they were selling? I don't know. It almost looked like he had an Xbox logo on his shirt, man. I think they're sending people to my house now, trying to interrupt my streams now. He's trying to sell me candles. That was so annoying, dude. Oh, I'm so bothered by that because it's just like, are you kidding? I feel like I just got trolled, but I also feel awkward because I was like super rude, and I could, I understand like this is their job. They have to be nice. They have to be nice, and they have to be polite. And who knows what kind of people I have to deal with? But I feel like normally under normal circumstances, I would have just been like, I'm good, man. And I would have let him say his little spiel and whatever. But I'm just like, nah, bro. I just shouldn't have answered the door. I don't know why I thought it was important. He was giving away free PS5 Pro review models. Oh, man. All right. Actually, that's funny, actually. That's funny. I should have said that. I should have said, don't you know who I am? Don't you know I'm MBG? I'm live on stream right now. Are you kidding me, bro? The audacity. Anyway, let's get back on track here. Rashdom V2 with a super chat says, so the Slim Digital is $50, not less than 2 years into the generation, included a stand with the launch PS5 and is now $30. I get it's 1 terabyte, but Sony is taxing. Dude, it's tough, man. It is. I don't know why it has to be this way. They could have just done nothing. You know what I mean? That's what I don't get. Like, they could have just done nothing. And Exley 3000. Actually, 3000 comes in and drops 5 more memberships for us, guys, bringing us up to 15 members on the day. Actually, dude, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you always being here for the channel and for the community, man. So that's 10 memberships gifted from Exley today. Let's get some W's in the chat.
Thank you. Appreciate
and
it.
a Crazy Arnold for Exley. I know Exley loves the Crazy Arnold, so thank you so much for that. Appreciate all the support, guys. I do. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I just feel like it's underwhelming, truthfully. Like, I don't want to, I know I had like a really negative initial reaction because it's a little bit surprising in that moment reading it and finding out this information. But the truth is, if I had to describe this in one word, it's underwhelming. Okay, like I feel like what Sony is bringing out here with this model, it's not really offering much, you know? Exley says that's for the horrific inconvenience you just had to endure, MBG. Thank you, Exley. It cheered me right up, man. It got me right back in the headspace I needed to be in. What would I do without you, Exley? That's so funny. Oh, man. How much are the new systems? Broccoli Rob, they are $500 for the disc model, $450 for the digital model, and $30 if you want a vertical stand. So that's the pricing. This new model was not needed. I mean, from the consumer level, it wasn't really. No. From a consumer level, honestly, this update and refresh is not necessary, but this is for Sony. That should be clear. You know, this update and refresh is mainly because Sony has been able to now make it smaller. They get to save on, you know, the price of production, materials, charging for the stand. Well, to be clear, it does come with a, just because I know there's people still filing in, and if you buy this model PS5, it comes with a horizontal stand, I think, built into it. It seems that way. So you can stand it horizontally. But if you want to stand it vertically, you will have to buy that stand, which is, yes, this is to mitigate costs. To mitigate costs. Let me drink some coffee from my absurdly large mug here. I don't actually drink Starbucks, and this isn't Starbucks, but it's a Starbucks mug. It's the only one I could really find, so that's what I'm going with today. This is why Jim went walking. I don't know. I doubt that. But let's get back to the Metal Gear topic here. This Metal Gear Solid rumor all sounds believable to me, but the one I really need to gauge you guys on this, all right? Because I know there's a lot of Metal Gear fans here. How do you feel about Metal Gear Solid Delta simply being a remake visually, right? Like, it's just modern day graphics. The voice acting is the same. The gameplay is untouched. The gameplay is identical to the original. How does that make you feel? Dark Horse says good. Broccoli Rob says modern controls would be nice. Zoic says perfect. Jay Shako says utter disgrace. That is utterly disgraceful. How dare you? Konami. I almost said Sony, but it's Konami. Kind of what I want, but some changes would be good. Sounds about right. You're saying you like it because Konami's known to screw things up. Yeah, this is a tough one for me, man. This is a really tough one for me because my fear is that Metal Gear Solid 3's gameplay does not hold up well enough to justify just leaving it untouched. I could be wrong. The truth is, it's been many years. It's been many years since I played Metal Gear Solid 3, so I could be wrong. But from what I remember, and especially coming off of playing games like Metal Gear Solid 5 and MGS4, which came after 3, obviously, I just don't know, man. I don't know that it's gonna hold up as well. Like, I I do kind of have this fear, you know? I do kind of have this fear that it's just going to be like, it looks amazing, but it just kind of feels a little off, you know? The aiming is terrible. Yeah, that's the one thing I really wish. I think that's maybe all that I needed to be changed, truthfully, is maybe just over the shoulder aiming. Maybe that would have made a big difference. And just to be clear, yeah, we're talking about the remake here, Metal Gear Solid Delta. But I don't know. I don't know. I do understand why Konami would make the decision. You know what? We're just gonna not touch it. We don't want to change it because we're afraid. I mean, yeah, as Jay Shako says, like, they should be scared, man. Konami should be scared. I can't blame them because I do get the feeling that Konami could make really significant improvements to the gameplay, potentially. You know, add some more modern touches to Metal Gear Solid 3 with this remake. But fans will destroy them for doing that. Even if they're better, even if the updates that they make actually improve the game, I could see people, just because of their disdain for the way things ended between Konami and Kojima, I could see them being like, you guys ruined it. You ruined it. And I could kind of understand from Konami's perspective, where they're like, you know what? Let's just not touch anything from a gameplay perspective. However, this to me is where things get kind of interesting. Konami did confirm with Metal Gear Solid 3 or Metal Gear Solid Delta. They were asked shortly after this game was revealed, are you guys going to, remake any more Metal Gear games? And they said if fans enjoy this one and they really like it, yeah, we'll remake others. And I'll tell you right now, like, if they decide to remake something like Metal Gear Solid 2, or especially a game like Metal Gear Solid 1, like, there's no chance. There's no chance you're going to be able to just keep that gameplay and just focus on the graphics. People will not accept that. You would have to actually change the game in some fundamental way. I mean, I guess technically they wouldn't have to. But I just feel like people would not be happy about that. It would almost make you wonder, like, what was the purpose of even remaking it if you're going to keep the gameplay design exactly the same? They could remake Metal Gear 1 and 2. That would be very interesting. I've talked about that before. You could take some serious liberties there, and I think everybody would be okay with that. Kojima needs to own the Metal Gear Solid IP. It would be great if Kojima could have taken Metal Gear with him. I do wonder if he would want to own that IP. I mean, I'm sure, like, on a personal level, Hideo Kojima would want to own Metal Gear Solid because he's the creator of it, and he's put so much heart and soul into it, of course. But I guess what I'm trying to say is I wonder if he would pursue it, right? If he owned if Kojima Productions owned the Metal Gear Solid IP, would he have made Metal Gear Solid 6 instead of Death Stranding? Or would he have just said, okay, I own this and I don't really want to do anything more with this series, so I'm going to move on now? I think he would have moved on. Yeah. I think he would have moved on. Yeah, and there's no chance Konami gives up Metal Gear Solid. There was that rumor a while ago that Sony tried to buy Metal Gear Solid from Konami, but they just weren't selling. I don't know if there's any truth to that rumor, though, either. Maybe not. It does sound kind of hard to believe. But you know what? Here's what we're going to do now, okay? We're going to flow with these topics here. All right, so I'm going to transition. We're going to talk about Silent Hill 2 remake. I just want to mention this. I did, again, cover this in a video yesterday, but I just don't know that everybody saw this video. So apparently 12 trophies have leaked out for Silent Hill 2 remake Now, we don't actually know what these trophies are. Like, they don't say what you have to do in the game, but there's been a lot of movement on the game's Steam page, and it seems like we're going to be getting some kind of update for Silent Hill 2 Remake. And I'm really perplexed by the 12 trophies thing. Like, are you telling me Silent Hill 2 Remake is only going to have 12 trophies to unlock to get the platinum? A lot of people seem to think that that's just a partial trophy list, like it's just a part of it, which would make sense to me. But then I saw other people saying, well, there's only so many things you can do in that game, and I kind of get that as well. But on top of that, I also was reminded, because I totally forgot about this, that apparently the voice actor of James Sunderland in this game seems to have let it slip that Konami is targeting an early 2024 release. And this is pretty significant to me. Because I'm going to move this over here, by the way. Because it's like, a lot of people are very critical of Sony right now, and I understand that. We've talked extensively, what's going on with Naughty Dog right now and where's the roadmap, so on and so forth. But there's also been this conversation, at least here on this channel, about how like Sony's got a pretty solid lineup for the next 6 months. And if Silent Hill 2 gets thrown into that, that's going to be kind of crazy to me. But granted, these are not first party games except for Spider-Man 2, but if it's true that Konami's planning on releasing Silent Hill 2 Remake in early 2024, that means between now and March, we're looking at Spider-Man 2, Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, and Silent Hill, and possibly Rise of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin was rumored to be early 2024. That'd be pretty crazy. That'd actually be pretty crazy. A lot of people are still very nervous about Bloober Team, though. I don't know, man. I feel like they would really have to go out of their way to screw this game up, because it's right there, I get that like some people don't like some of the artistic changes they've made, even based on the trailer. People are now wondering what type of gameplay changes are going to be made to the Silent Hill 2 remake. But I don't know, man. I'm trying to be optimistic about it, because I did like the first trailer they put out, and they seem to be taking it very seriously. They did say that they looked to something like Resident Evil 2 Remake for inspiration. Yeah, we've been talking about Silent Hill for so long. Some people think that there's going to be a transmission, a Silent Hill transmission this month, just like there was last year. So last October, that's where the game was announced. We could see that. I could see that happening. Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, let's see here. So this kind of helps me segue right into this topic. I have an article here from Push Square. It says, rumor, PS5's early 2024 release schedule may get even more ridiculous thanks to Elden Ring. So they say here, if you haven't been keeping an eye on early 2024, we would encourage you to do so. The current release schedule is, quite frankly, absurd. In the space of just under 2 months, we're getting Alone in the Dark, January 16th, Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, January 18th, Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, January 26th, Tekken 8, January 26th, Grand Blue Fantasy Relink, February 1st, Suicide Squad: Kill the Justice League, totally forgot about that game, February 2nd, Persona 3 Reload, February 2nd, Helldivers 2, February 8th, Tomb Raider 1 through 3 Remastered, February 14th, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, February 29th, and Unicorn Overlord, March 8th. And now it looks like things could somehow get even crazier. The latest rumor is that Elden Ring's anticipated expansion, Shadow of the Erd Tree, will drop in early February, or on February 5th, to be more precise. This is according to Elden Ring YouTuber Ziostorm, who has been fairly accurate with Elden Ring related updates in the past. The DLC's launch would follow on from a fresh showing at the Game Awards in December, although that's an easy assumption to make, seeing as From Software seems to obviously be good friends with Jeff Keighley. If Shadow of the Erdtree really does hit in February, we're officially in overkill territory. We can't help but wonder whether something has to give, because that is a ton of new releases. And so, yeah, it just kind of, this is why I'm like wondering if Konami really is planning to release Silent Hill 2 Remake in early 2024. Like, oof. It's packed, man. Like, it is absolutely packed. And, this is why, in a way, it's kind of like, yeah, I'm ready for Sony to show me a roadmap, but at the same time, it's like, God damn, there's just so many games coming, even this month still, and for the remainder of the year, and that's overwhelming, man. Yeah, and Stellar Blade, we need an update on that game. You're saying Suicide Squad is definitely going to be pushed back. Out of all the games listed there, I could see Suicide Squad being the game that gets pushed back. Absolutely. I don't think there's any hype for that game. Not even trying to be a hater. I just don't think there's much hype for it. And I don't know. I don't think it'll get canceled. But I think with a game like Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, it's gonna, I don't think it would shock people, but I think everybody has kind of accepted that Rocksteady had their time in the sun, as like a top tier developer. And after, what was the name of the last Batman game? I think it came out in 2015. I don't know, Arkham Knight. Yeah, there we go. After Arkham Knight, it's like, I mean, we're approaching like almost a decade of development time. Almost a decade of development, and like nothing to show. So I think they lost it, man. I do. And I think that the head developers too, they left during the development of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. So it's very unfortunate. Gotham Knights, yeah, not necessarily what people wanted. And that wasn't even a Rocksteady. But nonetheless, man, it's looking like early 2024 is going to be absolutely absurd for not just for PlayStation. Of course, almost all of these games are multi-plat, but Helldivers 2, Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth on top of. So let me look over this list and see what I'm interested in. Alone in the Dark. What do you guys think about Alone in the Dark? I like the fact that David Harbour's in it. It looks okay. It does. It looks okay. For me, that's a maybe. I'll have to see what I'm playing at that time. So for me, Alone in the Dark is a maybe. Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, not interested. Like a Dragon: Infinite Wealth, not for me, although I think there are people who are excited for that, certainly. Tekken 8. I might end up getting Tekken 8. I'm a pretty big Tekken fan. I've always liked Tekken. I'm not like huge into Tekken, but I've always really enjoyed it. Michael Lynch, thank you for the $10 super chat, my friend. You're saying, I live here in Austin and we have an AMD branch. I am an Uber and Lyft driver and I've taken people to work there. One of the guys told me they're working on the chips for the PlayStation 6. Ooh, Michael Lynch with some potential inside information here. I mean, it sounds believable to me, man. It sounds believable. It would be kind of strange to me if Sony just made an aggressive pivot where it's like, yeah, we did the PS5 all AMD, and you consider how early on the development of these next gen consoles, how early on they start kind of putting them together and mapping things out. And AMD's obviously going to show Mark Cerny and Sony, like, here's our long-term roadmap. Here's where we expect to be at, during this time. But according to Michael Lynch, somebody at AMD's branch says they're working on chips for the PlayStation 6. I mean, it wouldn't be shocking, right? I don't think it would be. But I appreciate that, Michael. Thanks for well, first off, thank you for the super chat, man, and thank you for letting me know. We'll have to just wait patiently and see if it turns out to be true. Grand Blue Fantasy Relink. Nah, I don't think that's going to be for me. Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. I'm not excited for it. If it reviews well, maybe I would play it. Like if it turns out it's actually really good and really fun, maybe. But Persona 3 Reload, a lot of people have been asking me to talk about this game, and I don't mean not to talk about it. It's just I've never played Persona, but I know people are super hyped for that. I know a lot of people are super hyped for that. Dark Horse, dude, thank you for the $5 super chat. You're saying, MBG, I am seeing rumors that Starfield might get a nomination for Game of the Year. There's a list going around on Twitter. Thoughts? That would be surprising, frankly. I don't know if I would believe that list. I'm not trying to be rude here towards the game, but isn't it sitting at like an 83 now? How could it? I don't know, man. Like a game in the high 80s winning Game of the Year kind of makes sense to me. Like if it's at an 88 and 89, I could see that. But something like below an 85, But then again, like I think about Ghost of Tsushima. Yeah, I don't know. Ghost of Tsushima got an 83, and that was in the running. Was that in the running for Game of the Year? I don't remember. Was it nominated? I know Ghost of Tsushima won the player vote, like when the vote where everybody got to say which game they wanted. But I can't remember if it was actually up for Game of the Year. Saying it's not about the score. There are just more better games this year. Yeah, that's true. The competition is fierce this year. That is true. I don't know, man. My opinion of Starfield is I just don't really care. I expected Starfield to make a much bigger splash than it did. But maybe it'll be up. Maybe it'll be nominated. But if we were to look back at this year and every game that's released so far, I mean, there's a lot of really, really impressive games that have launched this year. So I don't know if something is going to take its place. I would be careful with any list you see, though, Dark Horse. I think the takeaway here is, it's too early to know. It really is. I don't know what list you're referring to, but I wouldn't be shocked if Starfield ends up being a Game of the Year nominee. I don't think it would win, though, frankly. I don't. It'll be interesting to see how Spider-Man 2 reviews. That's coming out soon in 6 days. I guess we'll kind of find out if Spider-Man 2 is going to be a Game of the Year nominee or not. Think it's going to be rigged? Yeah, Baldur's Gate's definitely going to be nominated. Could win, too. I mean, I'm kind of when I tune into the Game Awards anymore, like it's always kind of nice to see games that I've played kind of nominated, or see if Sony's going to have a game nominated. But Maple Wolfie, let's get some W's in the chat for Maple Wolfie. She comes in and she donates, she gifts a membership. I feel like I've seen you gift a membership before, Maple. But either way, it feels like it's the first time. So thank you for that. Really appreciate it, Maple. Good stuff. You crazy Arnold for that. So that Maple brings us up to 16 members on the day. Thank you for the continued support, guys. Gavin says, God bless your soul. Yes, God bless you, Maple. Yeah, true. I forgot Mario Wonder. Resident Evil 4. Final Fantasy 16. Zelda. Oh, man. Yeah. Competition is fierce this year, dude. That's why I'm actually curious to see if Spider-Man 2 is going to be, if it's actually going to be nominated for Game of the Year. Yeah, Alan Wake 2 as well, man. Alan Wake 2 could be a Game of the Year contender. I don't know that Lords of the Fallen will be a Game of the Year contender. That would be quite surprising. It does look really good, though. Lords of the Fallen does look really good. I just saw their launch trailer. Kind of got me pretty hyped. What's the cutoff for nominations? I actually don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know the exact day. Let me finish going through this list here. Helldivers 2, gonna play that. The Tomb Raider 1 through 3 remastered. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, yeah. So I guess for me it is still a little bit overwhelming. There's like 4 games there that I'm interested in. Potentially. I don't know if the Elden Ring DLC does drop in that time frame. I don't know if I would play it or not. I'm telling you that From Software is going to treat this. From Software is going to treat this DLC like a new game. I bet you it's going to be huge. They're going to treat it like almost like a second title. Elden Ring 1.5, maybe. And dude, Exley 3000. Exley 3000 is going crazy today, gifting. Dropping 5 more membership gifts. Dude, Exley, thank you so much, man. Exley doing the big lifting for the channel and the community today.
Appreciate it.
Really, really appreciate that, bud. That actually brings us up to 21 memberships on the day. Very close, guys. Very close to the halfway mark. And don't get me wrong, the goal at this point is always set at 50, which is a massive goal. Even when we get halfway to that goal, that's still a huge deal. So really, thank you guys so much for the continued support. If it wasn't for your direct support with the membership gifting and the super chats, I simply wouldn't be able to do what I do here and have these streams with you. So thank you guys for powering the channel. And thank you actually for gifting so much today, man. MBG, we are wearing the same Metallica t-shirt. Are we? Damn. Good stuff, man. Actually says I was busy for the last few streams, so I had to make up for lost time. Well, I very much appreciate it, man. That's very kind of you, actually. Yeah, you've been here pretty much since we started streaming regularly, and since we started membership gifting, and you've just been the whole time. Just been incredibly supportive, so I really do appreciate it. All right, let's see here. I wanted to talk to you guys about this topic. GTA 6. Now, this is a interesting rumor. This is not like a release date rumor or anything like that, because I'm over that stuff. Whenever GTA 6 is going to be revealed, it's going to be revealed. It's going to come out when it wants to come out. But this rumor is a little bit different. It says here, being reported by WCCF Tech, Grand Theft Auto 6 is going to feature some impressive visuals that will be so far ahead of those seen in Red Dead Redemption 2 that the gap between them will be bigger than between the open world game set in the Wild West and GTA 5. According to French publication Rockstar Mag, the new version of the Rage engine that will power the new entry in the series will introduce some significant improvements in physics, passage of time, rendering quality, and artificial intelligence. Apparently, Rockstar Games is not only doing something better than any other currently available game, but also something that has never been done. GTA 6 water physics in particular will be unlike anything seen so far in gaming, according to the report. Rockstar Games' Rage Technology Group has designed a revolutionary system that will calculate water physics in real time, suggesting that the ocean will have an important presence in the game's open world. Grand Theft Auto 6 will also feature improvements to vehicle physics, with a significant increase in the number of vehicle polygons. The game will feature more accurate deformations and more realistic accidents, and any damage will also impact the vehicle's handling. The game will also be the first entry in the series to feature physically simulated lighting, to better represent the importance of Vice City's nightlife. The weather system will also be improved considerably over the previous entry in the series and will impact gameplay significantly. So it's hard to determine if what we're hearing from this magazine is true, but I feel like I believe it, because it's like we've been talking about GTA 6 for a long time here, and the level of expectation placed upon this, if you look at Red Dead Redemption 2, maybe some people will disagree with me. I feel like Red Dead Redemption 2 is still like a next generation game. I do. I mean, it is difficult for me to believe that Red Dead Redemption 2 is a PS4 and Xbox One generation game, because it's still so genuinely impressive in everything it does. It's truly in a league of its own. And when you consider that Red Dead came out in what I think it was 2018, GTA 6 will likely come out in, I'm assuming at this point, 2025. And Rockstar have had all that time to focus on the new hardware with the PS5 and the series consoles. I'm assuming it's not going to be a last gen game. Like I at this point, I would say there's no chance that GTA 6 is going to release on PS4 or Xbox One. So I kind of believe everything that they're saying here, right? Like I do believe that they're going to bring stuff like this to the table. The thing that really interests me is what they're saying here about, like, it is kind of hard to believe where they're saying the leap in all areas of this game, visually, physics, lighting, it's going to be greater than what we saw from GTA 5 to Red Dead 2. I don't know about that, man. That's kind of hard to believe, because GTA 5 is still a pretty impressive game. Red Dead Redemption 2, I mean, if you compare Red Dead Redemption 2 to GTA 5, I mean, let's face it, Red Dead 2 it's doing a lot of things much better, as it should, because there's, many years in between the releases. So I don't know, man. I guess basically what we're being told here is that GTA 6 is going to be like a massive leap over Red Dead 2. And at first, it doesn't sound believable, because it's like, dude, Red Dead 2 is insane. But then it's like, well, Red Dead 2 is also a game that was developed for last-gen hardware. GTA 6 is seemingly going to be a game that's developed for current-gen hardware. And, yeah, dude, I'm really excited. I am excited I'm very concerned, obviously, about the future of Rockstar Games and GTA. Because GTA Online, it's just too much anymore, Dark Horse, you're saying sounds like 30 FPS for GTA 6 MBG. Yeah. And you know what? I think everybody would be okay with that. I really do. What about the Series S? Well, here's the thing about the Series S. If Rockstar does run into any problems, it's clear. It's clear that Phil Spencer and Microsoft will work with them, and they'll allow them to make certain changes if they need to, which I think is good. We saw that happen with Baldur's Gate 3. I think it was the right move. And if GTA 6 is like breaking on the Series S and they have to change a couple things, then so be it. Yeah, it'll break. Yes. If GTA 6 is locked at 30 FPS, I think everybody would be okay with that. If what we're reading here, if it achieves all these things. If it achieves all these things and it does it in a really spectacular way, I think people will be like, yup, it's totally fine that it's 30 FPS. It would be great, though, if no matter what, if they could offer a 60 FPS option. And yeah, we talked about the PS5 Pro earlier. Now we have to consider, like, is GTA 6 going to be I mean, could we see like a GTA 6 PS5 Pro bundle? Now that would be insane. That would be insane. That'd be awesome. I'd be super excited for that. Capono, yeah, I see you, man. I see you. Max Payne Collection by Remedy is going to be coming in the Northlight engine. Yeah, that's true too. That's true too. Yeah, we'll definitely get a 60 FPS remastered version of GTA 6 on the PlayStation 6. And I'll buy it. You'll buy it. Everybody will buy it. That's how it goes. Yeah, I'd be excited, man. I mean, I am excited, frankly. I'm more optimistic about GTA 6 than I am pessimistic. I think there are a couple things to be worried about, of course, but generally speaking, I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm pretty hyped for it. Let me see here. I want to check this. I'm gonna need Sorry, I'm just talking to myself out loud here. I was just reading something. GTA 6 is a reminder to touch grass. LOL. Oh God, choking over here. What about the map size for GTA 6? Oh, that's a good question. I mean, you have to imagine it's going to be bigger than GTA 5. I don't know. What is more important, do you think? A bigger map or a denser map? Or do you think we can get both? Three separate maps? Oh, yeah, there could be multiple locations. It's a good thought. I didn't consider that. Small microtransaction DLC to DLC maps. I mean, my instinct is to go for like a denser map rather than a bigger map. But then again, it's Rockstar. I wouldn't be totally shocked if they were able to achieve both. I mean, they are one of the most talented development teams in the industry, and they are looking to raise the bar again. So it's like, why just focus on sheer density when we can do density and, size? Actually says touching grass with bare feet actually has amazing health benefits. Does it? I should do this. Actually, what are these health benefits? Because I feel like I've heard people mention that before, and I don't know. Like my natural inclination is to put shoes on when I go outside. Like I don't know when the last. I mean, maybe when I went swimming or something somewhere. That was the last time. What are these amazing health benefits? I must know. It's called grounding yourself. Yeah. I got to ground myself with the earth. Hanzo says green is a soothing color that helps calm your mind and reduces tension. When you walk barefoot on grass, the level of endorphins, aka feel good hormones in your body increases. Really? I kind of believe it. I do. You actually get energy touching grass barefoot? Dude, I'm about to just go outside now and touch grass. Really, I am. That's great. I appreciate you guys sharing this wisdom with me. Yeah, I'll have to stream outside next time. I think you can stream from right from the phone too. I've never done that, but MBG, you actually absorb energy from the ground / earth. There are videos showing this. It can be measured. Wow. That's actually super impressive if true. I kind of believe it. Wow, Wes says 7.83 hertz earth frequency. Mako. Yeah, we got to suck up that Mako, bro. That's crazy. That's crazy. It makes sense though, you know. Maybe this is what I'm lacking. Radiation, possibly. Yeah. Be careful. Be careful. Don't want to be in any radiated areas. We are electrical beings, says Exley. Grounding yourself changes the shape of your blood cells to be more effective, amongst many other positive things. Ooh, this is some interesting stuff here. Yeah, maybe this really is what I need, though. I've been feeling so tired lately. I feel like I'm sleeping okay, pretty well, but I still feel tired. Maybe this is what I need to get my energy boost. Guys, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not even kidding. It is starting to get cold out, though. Maybe that's good, though. This Thursday, next stream, that morning, I'm going to do this for a little bit outside and see if it changes anything. I mean, maybe you have to do it more than once. Maybe you have to do it a couple times. But I'll see if it brings in, brings some more energy out of me. If you put your PS5 without a stand on the grass, it will become a PS5 Pro. Oh, shit. You know there's going to be a photo posted on my channel of me just out there with my PS5 on the grass. That's amazing. How did we get on this topic, though? All right, let's see. I do want to ask you guys really quick. What do you think about and it's a little bit random, but maybe it's kind of, I don't know, it goes with the topic here. How do you guys feel about like taking cold showers or, like the whole Wim Hof thing? Does anybody do this here? I feel like I've tried it like a couple times, but I never did like an ice bath or something like that. I just don't think I could bring myself to do it. But yeah, dude, it's tough. It is tough. It will shock your body though. It will shock your body though. It is a shock to the system. You tried it in the middle of January once. Yeah, you know what's so crazy about it is if you're ever cold, like if you're just in your house and you're cold, take a really cold shower, suddenly everything outside of that shower will feel warm to you. Yeah, I mean, I see these people, they like go swimming in like ice water and shit, and I get it, man. I know it's like really good for the body, but it's just I just can't do it. I can't do it. It basically gives you like a massive adrenaline rush. It makes your body just work so much more efficiently. I wonder if anybody's died doing that though. Like I do wonder if anybody's like died like jumping into into like ice water or something. Gamer of Light says I do it sometimes in military school. Cadre would just spray us with a hose and an ice bucket. 6 months of that. Cold showers are easy. Damn, dude, that's brutal. Yeah, I mean that'll build mental toughness, no doubt about it. That sounds like straight torture. Yeah, I mean I ran into that Wim Hof guy and he's crazy, dude. Like, I mean, I was like coming across some of the stuff that he did. I mean, he's like climbing. I don't know if it was Mount Everest. I don't know if it was that, but he's like climbing like these ice mountains in his like underwear or some shit, dude. I'm not even kidding. It's like, what? How is this man not dead? It's kind of crazy. It's kind of crazy how like this guy like defies, I don't know, the laws of nature. And it's definitely inspiring where it's like, wow, maybe the human body is capable of a lot more than we think. Maybe it is mind over matter, dude. I mean, if this guy is out here climbing mountains in his underwear with just a pair of goggles, I feel like everybody going into that would assume I'm going to die. But he goes into it saying, this is great. I love this. And he lives. And he's like happy. He's having a great old time. I'm like, what does that reveal about the human mind? It's definitely interesting to think about. Just saying green screens and CGI for sure. I don't think so, man. Wim Hof's an alien, dude. I don't know if you guys know who I'm talking about. If you know, I think his nickname is the Iceman. Got to open your third eye, yeah. Good stuff. But he can't beat Dark Souls. That's true. Well, he is old now, I think. So, okay. People also breathe too shallow. Taking deeper, fuller lung breaths keeps you healthy. Yeah, that's true. Breathing shallow, I think, keeps you in a more stressful state. Like, because it's like it leans you more into the fight or flight response. And the fight or flight, it's interesting because like stress, right? Stress and the fight or flight response, these things are actually good for you, but in bursts. If it's chronic, if you're chronically in fight or flight, that's actually really debilitating and extremely unhealthy. I mean, that'll actually like age you. I feel like I know a thing or two about that. And you're absolutely right. Like, you know, at times when you're supposed to be calm, you're supposed to be somewhat relaxed, deeper, fuller breaths. I'm telling you, as I've gotten older, one of the most important things I've learned, truthfully, is breathing techniques. You know, I learned about one of the most helpful and effective breathing techniques that I've learned, and I'm not even kidding. Like, this has actually been a game changer for me, is box breathing. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of this, but it's basically 4 seconds in, you hold 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold for 4 more seconds. And it's why it's called box breathing. And if you do this for a little bit, it just completely regulates your system. You know, you're getting just the right amount in, just the right amount out, you know, some pauses in between. And it's actually it's really nice. It's really effective. So I highly recommend it to you guys out there. You tried not breathing and it didn't go so well. Yeah, I could see how that could be problematic, man. Dude, PlayStation Pete in the chat. What if Ed Boon charges $100 for the Titan Battle Trophy? I hope not, man. I don't think he will, man. I don't think he'll do that. I think it'll be free. It has to be, right? It has to be. I wouldn't worry too much, PlayStation Pete. Joel says MBG had to learn this for when he dies for the 12th time in Elden Ring. Yeah, man. That's how I learned about box breathing. I'm like, I'm gonna throw my controller right through the screen. It is nice though, man. You're saying if you can't be panicked and breathe slowly, so in a bad situation, concentrate on breathing slowly and you'll calm down. Had to do it a few times when scuba diving. Yeah, that's very true, man. One of the worst feelings in the world is hyperventilating. Like when your adrenaline gets just so, it just overwhelms you, right? And then, yeah, you got feelings of like impending doom or some shit. And your breathing gets totally out of control. And a lot of times that's how people pass out. And that's the scary shit. Like, I mean, if you're talking about being in like scuba diving, yeah. If you're in like a really compromising situation, the last thing you want to have happen is pass out due to hyperventilating. And so, yeah, doing these deep breathing techniques can literally save your life in extreme circumstances where you have to stay calm, keep your wits. I don't know if I would ever do scuba diving now, man. Like, you know, when I was younger, the idea of scuba diving seemed cool, but now that I'm older, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. You know, I don't like the ocean. We've already established I don't like outdoors, but I definitely don't like the ocean. Okay, like being out in the woods or something, that's one thing. Being in the fucking ocean, I'm good, bro. I'm good. No reason. I mean, if I had a reason, maybe. Maybe. Yeah, what's up with that, man? Gamer of Light says your body can forget your breathing techniques from your anxiety and stress. It's tough, man. It is mind over matter. It almost requires a kind of training in a way, you know? You have to actually practice it, get better at it. How the hell did we get on these topics? I think it's because I ran out of things to talk about. Again, I think we went through all the topics too quickly. Again. All right, let me see if there's anything. Let me see if there's anything that I may have missed. Yeah, I guess this news of the new PS5 model is probably going to be the main thing that comes out for Sony this week. I don't imagine much else is going to come out unless maybe they want to start hyping up Spider-Man 2 a little bit. I did forget to ask you guys about this earlier. When it comes to switching gears here again, when it comes to the new PS5 model, I meant to ask you guys, how do you feel about it now offering 1 terabyte of storage? Ray says we are finding out all of MBG's phobias. Never take MBG to a forest that is on a cruise ship. Oh my god, yeah, that's going to be the next level, man. We're going to have cruise ships that are it's like a artificial wooded area. Like the entire cruise ship is like it's just like woods. They're going to be cabins and shit in the middle of the ocean. At that point, it's basically a fucking island. If you think about it, maybe islands are kind of my. I don't know. Maybe I have a phobia of islands. I never really thought about that. Islands are kind of terrifying, like really small, isolated ones. Very creepy. Cruise ship stream when MBG saying 1 terabyte SSDs are very cheap now. I could have swore, wasn't there some kind of reason that Mark Cerny said the PS5's SSD was only had 825 gigabytes? I could have swore there was a reason for that, but I don't remember. Jay Shako, you're saying you live on an island? Which island? Which island, Jay Shako? Saying islands are great, forests and oceans everywhere. I live in Hawaii. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think I'm terrified of islands. Like I was just trying to think. I don't like the idea of cruise ships, you know? Not too into like forests or anything or wooded areas really. But for some reason an island doesn't really bother me. The size of each module. Interesting regarding the SSD. So what changed? I don't get it. What changed? Dude, you know what sounds like the most terrifying thing in the world? Now that I'm thinking about it, being in a submarine. Like I really had to think about it for a minute. And I'm like, what would be the? I mean, fuck, dude. Being in a submarine would be the most terrifying thing I think in the world. He's saying you need to take those cold showers. Man up, MBG. I do occasionally. I just don't do it all the time. You know, I got to be in a certain frame of mind. Being on a plane that's crashing. Ooh, that sounds. Yeah, that obviously sounds terrifying. Isn't it scary to be in a shuttle in space? Ooh, yeah, that's a I don't know, man. The idea of being in space is it's an interesting thought, you know? Because like in space, it's like, well, it is kind of horrifying, actually. I mean, damn. Actually, the more I think about it, that might be the most horrifying thing. Like, could you imagine You know, you're in, and I don't know, has this ever happened to a human being? Like you're in space and somehow you just like, I don't know, when they're out in their, when they're out there, they're like tethered to the spaceship, right? Or wherever they're, whatever they're on, the space station, whatever. Has that, like, if that tether broke and you just drifted, you know, like you're just gone in the void, you know? Has that ever happened to somebody? That must be the most terrifying, one of the most terrifying ways to die. Maybe one of the coolest ways to die, in a way, though. Check out the astronaut whose suit malfunctioned. Saying you die before you got very far. Yeah, I guess that's true. Better than drowning in an open ocean. You know, in a way, it almost feels like it'd probably be a pretty peaceful way to that. Saying it happened to George Clooney in Gravity. Oh shit, not George. It'd probably be a pretty peaceful way to go, though. Certainly horrifying in a certain aspect, but the level of peace you would experience, though, is probably quite nice. You'd probably freeze to death. Trapped in a sink. How do we get on? Why are we on such a dark subject? It's because I mentioned the submarine. That's why. Boiled alive. Okay, you guys are getting crazy now. Oh, that. Yeah, that. Yeah, you know what scares me, truthfully. You know, going to be real here. You know what really does scare me, though? Humanity fucking scares me. We're about to get real dark right now, okay? I'm giving you a forewarning. Humanity scares the shit out of me. Like, just scrolling through YouTube sometimes, or, you know, Twitter, but like you just I came across this video. I think it's this channel called The Infographic Show. I'm not subscribed to them or anything, but there was just this random video I came across. It was about World War II and this specific concentration camp and the type of like I'm not going to get into detail here because I'm not trying to get my channel in, you know, it's just I don't want to go into detail, but just some of the experiments and shit that they would do, and it was just so it is difficult to believe, truthfully. Like, I could kind of understand why, like, people learning about this shit would just want to be like, I refuse to believe that. It's like, it's so diabolical and evil that it's like this shit can't be real, right? And the idea that it is just so disturbing to me. It's genuinely disturbing to a point where it's like, I can't even believe this shit. I mean, it makes you question things a little bit, you know? And I know that there was another one, there was like a Japanese army unit or something like that, or there was like a testing site, and they did some of the craziest shit. And you know what I found out too? I don't know, I don't have the names, but in World War II, there was a Japanese unit that they were specifically tasked with experimenting on humans and doing just the most disturbing, insane shit, a person could even think of. And I remember, Unit 731. Do I ever stop to think that maybe they could be lies? I mean, I've considered that, like, you know, could these things be fabricated and made to sound worse than they are? But then I realized that, you know, they're like, true evil does exist. I mean, like, truly evil people have definitely existed. And honestly, maybe this sounds pretty cynical, but a part of me starts to very much lean towards it's actually like the more I think about it, the easier it becomes to believe, which is maybe sad, right? Like that makes me kind of sad in a way because it's like I don't like going to these dark places. I don't know if anybody actually likes it, but I also feel like I can't bring myself to just be like, just pretend it's not real. You know what I mean? Because I feel like then you're just I'm experiencing some type of unhealthy denial. But yeah, that Unit 731, one of the craziest things I read about this. Now, keep in mind, these experiments that were done were like they were next level horrific, as in like it's just I can't even begin to imagine like how people go through this shit, and what they may have experienced. But I'm pretty sure the U.S. actually one of the U.S. generals, I don't know if it was MacArthur, one of them, basically agreed to like let some of these people go in this Unit 731 who were responsible for this if they gave us the information, like the stuff that you learned about human anatomy and our biology. And basically, like some of these people legitimately got away with it and were able to just walk away because they said, here's all of our findings. And that to me is just like, no way. Like there's like no fucking way. I couldn't believe that. Where it's like, how? Like I kind of get it where it's like, well, maybe we could do something with this and learn something from it. But it's like, goddamn. And as I'm going to the darkest place imaginable, bro, I'm sorry. As I'm going to the darkest place imaginable, Chris B is like, yo, we gotta change the tune here a little bit. Chris B, dude, thank you so much, man. Chris B comes in, he drops a chat, and he also drops 10 more membership gifts. Guys, we need some W's in the chat.
Thank you.
Chris B.
Appreciate it.
Really, really appreciate that, man. Chris B's like, yo, we got to change this topic. I don't like where this is going. I came in here thinking we were talking about the new PS5 model, and MBG's over here talking about World War II atrocities. What is happening? But yeah, seriously, Chris, I really do appreciate that, man. That actually brings us up to 31 members on the day. So just like that, we are actually beyond the halfway point, which is awesome to see. So good stuff, Chris. Let me actually read your chat now. Imagine getting high with MVG. I don't get high, man, so I couldn't tell you. Who knows what I would be like? I don't even know what I would be like. Actually says thank you, Chris, for changing the subject. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I was just talking about it because I just kind of came across this random video the other day and I was just watching it and I noticed like as I was watching it, I was getting more and more disturbed. And you know, it's tough, man, because it's like I want to be in a more positive mindset. Like I want to have a sense of peace, and I can't help it. And I have to admit that maybe I'm more of an empath than I realize, because when I come across stuff like this, like it really does bother me. It does. Like it does not sit well with me, and it makes it kind of, you know, it has a negative effect on my psyche, but I don't know what that says about me. All right, let me see. Chris B, dude, thank you, man. Again, long-time member, 37 months. You're saying PS5 digital price hike. Get them for $3.99 while they last. Yeah, honestly, now's the time. I probably should have mentioned that earlier. If you are somebody who has any interest in a digital PS5 model, now is the time to get it because you'll get it at $400. But if you wait, it's going to go to $450. And Jacob says, how does $449 for digital make sense? No price cut. Well, let's just be honest here, man. Let's just call it what it is. It's Sony wanting to make more of a profit on this model on the PS5. I mean, the truth is, they probably, I don't want to say probably, I think it's clear that Sony was not making a profit on the existential bound gamer. That is what I should be called, dude. I feel like I have existential crises just constantly. It's not good. It's not good, man. I got to go ground myself, man. I got to go out there barefoot and ground myself. But I think it's safe to say that Sony was not making a profit at all selling the digital model PS5. And when you think about it, Sony produced way more disc model PS5s than they did digital. And, they're being sold for $100. I think that's likely the console where they were making the bulk. If they were making a profit at all, that's where they would be making it. And them upping the price $50. I mean, yeah, it's 1 terabyte now, but come on, we all know that 175 gigabytes is not worth $50. That's not why it's going up in price. It's going up in price because what isn't these days? Did you guys hear that Netflix is going to increase their price again? Did you guys hear about this? I mean, come on. Come on, man. It's getting ridiculous. I feel like every week I'm hearing about a service or something that's like, oh, we had to increase our price again. It's like, God, give it a break, will you? I mean, I'm seriously considering unsubbing from Netflix. The only reason I'm not is because of, I guess you could be right about that too, because of the writer's strike. That's how they're going to do it. I'm considering unsubscribing from Netflix. The only reason I'm not going to yet is because I want to watch the house, the fall of the House of Usher or something like that. It's I can't remember his name. Mike Flanagan, I think his name is. He does like the yearly horror themed release series for Netflix, which I really do like that. But after that, I think I might unsub because it's getting crazy, man. It's getting crazy. And Jacob with another super chat says they broke even in June 21. We demand a price cut. Well, I would like to know if they did break even then, but a lot has changed since June 2021, economically speaking. I would not be surprised if Sony is at this point not making a profit on the PS5. I don't know if they are. Maybe they are. But things have changed. I will say this. If you look at the new PS5 model, it's slimmer, it's lighter, clearly is using less material. They've changed things up. I mean, it's weird to me. Yeah. Usually when you see this happen to a console where it's like, yeah, we're using less materials, smaller now, it's lighter, you would think that it would kind of bring on a price cut, not a price increase, but this is, I don't know, man. Everybody's got to decide for themselves, if this is a big deal for them or not. I'm good with my PS5. And honestly, if I were to buy this model PS5, I would still buy the disc version, probably. Yeah, definitely. Because it's detachable, I want to have that. And we have Matt Fu. Matt Fu, a longtime member. He comes in, he's keeping the membership train going. Guys, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you guys continuing to keep the membership train going strong here, even when we're running low on topics and talking about God knows what. Matt Fu gives 5 more memberships. Big shout out to you, Matt.
Thank you.
He brings us up to 36 members on the day. So, guys, we are actually getting very close to hitting our goal today. It'll be interesting to see if we can end up doing that. 36 members, Matt. I'll give you a Venom there. Really appreciate it, dude. I dare you to take a shot every time MBG says membership. Please do not. No, it would not be good. Let me see. MBG, maybe they're subsidizing the PS5 Pro with the new prices of the PS5 Slim. That's a possibility. It's a possibility. I mean, I'm just trying to accept the fact that, this is just what Sony does, I mean, support it, don't support it, it's up to you. It's up to you. And, dude, Exley 3000, Exley's doing the heavy lifting today, man. Exley 3000 comes in and drops another 5 memberships. Big shout out to Exley today.
Appreciate it.
Exley 3000 going crazy brings us up to 41 memberships. So guys, we are now 9 away from hitting the goal. 9 away. Incredible. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you for the continued support. And I genuinely mean it, as always, if it wasn't for that support, man, I wouldn't be able to continue doing this the way I do. And it's an honor, it's a privilege, it's a dream come true. So thank you. Actually doing big stuff today. Actually, what should I give you? I'll give you I'll give you Mark Cerny. For talking about the PS5's form factor so much here. I don't know if Mark Cerny has any control of that though. And oh my God, holy shit, dude! Chris B just dropped a 20 bomb. Chris B just comes in and says, "Here's 20 membership gifts." Holy shit. Chris B is hyped for something right now. Chris, are you getting a new PS5 model? Is that what you're so hyped about? Dude, seriously though, thank you. That is incredible. Chris just comes in and annihilates the goal, dude. He annihilates the goal.
Holy
crazy, dude. Chris B. He just gifted 10 memberships a moment ago too. So Chris just gifted 30 memberships. Huge, man. Yeah, Chris B, a legend. W's in the chat. We're going crazy. So he brings us up to 61 members, guys. 61 members. I have to actually update the goal. Huge shout out to this community, man. Huge shout out to Chris B. Huge shout out to actually all you guys. Matt Fu, everybody gifting. I really do appreciate it. Let me update this for you. Where are we at? 61. Good stuff, man. Yeah, I really appreciate the support you guys show, man. It means everything. It does. And dude, Matt Fu is following it up with another 5. God, dude, you guys are going crazy now. You got a real membership train going here. Matt Fu.
Thank you.
Let's get some W's in the chat from Matt. He brings us up to 66. Guys, I've been seeing the number 66 everywhere. What does that mean? Somebody tell me what that means. I've been seeing the number 66 everywhere. Does this happen to you? Anybody else? But Matt Fu brings us up to 66. It's not staying there long. Dude, actually, look at you guys. They're going nuts. We need W's flowing in the chat right now. Exley 3000 drops another 5. Following Matt Fu's 5. Following Chris B's 20. That's another 30 memberships in total. Gifted. Absolutely huge. We are now at 71 memberships. Guys, I just updated the goal, and we are 4 away from crushing a second milestone.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That is absolutely massive. Thank you guys so much. Exley, Matt, Chris, everybody else. I know other people gifted today too. Anybody who gifts on the channel, really appreciate that support. I mean, that, I don't do a bunch of ad rolls and stuff. I get offers all the time, but the way I see it is, as long as the community continues to show support in this way, it's not needed. You guys are the sponsors, pretty much. That's it, man. That's what it comes down to. You guys who are gifting and super chatting, you guys are the ones that are sponsoring the channel and powering it. So seriously, big shout out to this community, man. Let me update this here. 71 members, just like that. Full-blown membership train. Full speed ahead. There we go. Good stuff, man. Generic white male says, got laid off of work last week. Thanks for the gifted membership community, and thank MBG for keeping my mind busy while I get through health and job crap. Well, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. But yeah, dude, it's nice. I appreciate you taking the time here with your milestone chat to highlight the community. This is what I mean, man. This is what this community does. We support each other. Generic white male is saying thank you for the membership. And yeah, man, thank you to the community. And I'm glad my stream can help you out. It's always nice to hear that feedback from people. A lot of people always come by saying like they're, not always necessarily going through a struggle in life, but sometimes they are, and they express their gratitude for being able to kind of hang out here and be part of the community. And that really that makes me feel very good. So appreciate that, man. Actually says, thank God for that MBG ad suck. Yeah, again, it's something that I have contemplated for a while, and it's something that I get offered constantly, but the way I view it, like I said, is just it's not needed, and as long as it's not needed, I'm not going to do it. And I just, I think it's important that you guys know that, because I know some people sometimes get frustrated a little bit. There have been people who told me in the past, they were like, dude, just take the ads and stop doing the membership thing. But the thing about the membership stuff that's way different than regular ads is it gets the community more involved. And I do appreciate that aspect of it. Imagine an Xbox ad on MBG's channel. I would take that ad. Dude, if Microsoft reached out to me to like promote one of their products, I would 100% do that just because it would be so funny. It would be like, how did we get here, guys? I will sell out for Microsoft, absolutely. And I hope that one day they bring out the Xbox body wash again, dude. If they do, I will market that for you, Microsoft. I will do that. So MIDI, really quick. It looks like you did a milestone chat, but it's not showing up for some reason. So let me go check here if there's a reason for that. Wow. I gained a bunch of subscribers because I changed my wow, that's funny, man. A lot of people must have been looking up the new PlayStation model, and I'm glad I changed the title and the thumbnail at the last minute because we got a bunch of new subscribers here, which is awesome to see. I'm just checking to see if your chat came through, MIDI. No. So sometimes I think people do that. Sometimes I think people, they just use their milestone chat to just get a little shout out here. At least that's my assumption. So MIDI, dude, thank you for that, man. And Chris B with a $5 chat says, I was going to get a slim second PS5, but I think I'll wait for the PS5 Pro to be my second PS5. Yeah, I do have two PS5s in the home. I have my launch model that I got at launch, obviously, but I have I think it was the God of War Ragnarok bundle where I got that for my wife because we started playing games. We started playing Dead by Daylight together, and she was playing on the PS4 Pro, and I was just like, this thing's really loud. And when the time is right, I'll buy her one, and I did, and she's been using it almost every night. We play Dead by Daylight constantly together. Kendallfire, you're saying I missed yours from earlier. Did I? I'm going back here, Kendallfire. Dude, I'm telling you, YouTube is glitching out a little bit because I'm looking through all of my viewer activity here, and Kendallfire, you're not here for some reason. So Kendallfire, I do feel bad about that. So whatever you said in your chat, say it in the chat here again, and I'll try to catch it so I can read it because I don't know, it's not showing up here at all. By the way, guys, I forgot to mention we still have over 400 people here hanging out, which is awesome to see. Do me a quick favor. Please hit that like button for me. If you enjoy the streams, that's the easiest way for you to show your support. And let's see here. Actually says you're at the highest sub number yet. Only 700. I mean, we're very close to 99,400. So we're very close to just needing about 600 more subscribers. Colt Eastwood and MBG collab when, dude, that would be such a funny ass collaboration when it would be so at odds. And I don't know. that would be such a tug of war in a way, not because I think we would feel like that towards each other, but because the audience watching us, there's like, all right, come on, you got to go at it now. Who's going to have the better points? Who's going to make the better points here? Yeah, we become best friends. Nah, I don't know, man. I'm always hesitant to, do like collaborations of any kind. Just because it's like, I don't know. For some reason in my mind, I just don't imagine it going like that well or as well as I would hope. People have asked me to like do something with Mystic, but Mystic he seems like he does his own thing too. Really. I think Mystic seems like he 100% avoids like the console war stuff, even if it's just like really lighthearted, which I can understand because shit gets too crazy. Trust me, I totally get it. Why subjugate yourself to torture? That's what I mean, man. It's just the reason why I don't know that I would be able to do a collaboration, at least in certain areas, is because I feel like it would be more for like entertainment value than anything. And I get that, but yeah, we're gonna maybe we'll do a boxing match. I've never actually boxed, but I think I could be pretty decent at boxing. I would need much better conditioning though. When it comes to cardio, I'm definitely out of shape. Way out. At least I feel like I am. Maybe I'm not as bad as I think. But if I were to try doing boxing, I'd probably be gassed after 1 or 2 rounds, man. All right, let me see. We got Disco Cobra 2013. You're saying just going to wait for the Pro, most likely, in no rush to drop $450 for a digital model with a detachable drive. Neat idea if you want to replace it, though. Yeah, that's why it's difficult for me to actually be mad. I mean, again, I had my initial reaction earlier where I'm like, what the hell? Like, it is still the one thing about this I just still can't quite understand is why there. I don't know. It's not a big deal. It just feels backwards to me where it's like, why do you need to buy a stand separately to put it vertically? I just don't know how you go from what you have now to that. But putting that aside, there's nothing about this that is like shocking to me. It's this new PS5 models. We've been talking about it, or the rumors and all the information. We've been talking about it for a long time. We just needed the pricing details. And I know people are going to be upset about the digital model. I'll be honest with you. This is just going to be my hot take. All right. And I know how it's going to sound to some people. It's difficult for me to feel upset about the digital model costing $450 because just don't buy it. Don't buy a digital console. I mean, it's nice that if you do, you'll have the option, if you regret that, to buy the disc drive, which is nice, but just buy the regular model. Have that disc drive. Even if you buy games digitally, if you ever want to watch a Blu-ray, or if you ever do happen to come across a game that's like really on sale or something, and it's a disc version and you can save a bunch of money, you'll have the ability to play. I honestly just don't recommend people buy a digital console. I just don't know, I just don't know why people, I mean, especially now. Like, okay, let me say this really quick. If you decided to buy a digital PS5 now at $400, or you did in the past because it was $100 difference, I kind of get that. Like, $100 is $100. I can understand why you would want to maybe save that money. But especially now, a $50 difference, just pay the extra $50, get the disc drive. Even if it hardly ever gets used, you'll have it. You don't have to worry about it. You're not locked in. And if you don't have to worry about paying $80 down the line if you do regret it. You're saying, MBJ, I hope I didn't piss you off when I stated my opinion about Spider-Man 2, how it was rinse repeat. It was just how I feel, you know? By the way, have you had stick drift yet? No, you didn't piss me off, man. Not at all. I think that's fine. Like, I do not... In fact, I think it led to an interesting conversation about how, like, sometimes rinse and repeat isn't always a bad thing. You know? I think just the terminology is, it has a negative connotation, of course, but I was not mad at all. Stick drift. I do have one controller. Dude, I must have got like a defective controller. There was this one black controller I bought, and I had used it for, I think, like 4 months. And I don't abuse my controllers. I'm not heavy-handed in that way. And the stick is just fucked. Like it has something beyond stick drift where it just feels loose. Like it feels like something almost came undone internally. It's practically broken. It's not unusable. Like you can use it, but it's really like that crappy controller now that you kind of give your friend or something if you're playing like a co-op game. But there was no reason for it to, like, I legitimately think it was a defective controller because there was no reason for it to have this problem just a couple months after use. Other than that, though, haven't really had any issues. I have quite a few different dual senses, and I rotate them sometimes. Maybe that's why. But saying take it apart, maybe it just needs a quick clean near the sticks. It could be that, but it's just like, I don't know. I have so many other dual senses. I'm just like, well, whatever. This one will just be an extra, like a backup. Oh, and here comes Leia. Hello, Leia. Leia says hi. I don't know if you guys can see her on the way my camera's positioned. You can like barely see her. Here, Leia. Say hi to everybody. She's like, what are you doing? Put me down. Put me down. You're saying you were started off slow and now it just goes crazy to the left out of nowhere. That sucks, dude. Yeah, it is unfortunate, man, that so many people experience stick drift with the DualSense. I do wonder if Sony's going to do something about that with Ooh, what is this? I'm seeing a report here from Bloomberg. It's actually, I'm learning about this from Shinobi602 on Twitter. He says a Disney acquisition of EA has been floated as an idea, as some in the company are pushing CEO Bob Iger to consider a bolder transformation from gaming licenses to gaming giant. Iger so far has been non-committal. Holy shit. You see? Do you see where this leads? Oh my God. Disney owning EA. Oh my God. Say goodbye to your license, Sony, for Wolverine. Dude, oh man, no. Please, God, no. More consolidation, people. No. I really hope that doesn't happen, man. I really fucking hope that doesn't. Yeah, this is exactly what I feared. This is exactly what I feared, man. I'm not saying it's Microsoft's fault. I'm not, I know people are going to take it that way. It's just that it's not Microsoft's fault. Microsoft knew this was going to happen too, and they decided to just like get a head start. But this is why I've tried to tell people, like, dude, you don't want to cheer on consolidation. You really don't, because this is the shit that's going to start happening. Like, does this sound good to anybody? Like, does the idea of Disney owning EA sound even a little bit appealing to fucking anybody? No, it doesn't. It sounds horrible. It sounds like, well, there's the death of EA. EA has issues, yes, they're not perfect, but geez, now any chance of things getting better are out the window. Well, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised at all. Granted, this is just a report, you know. That fucking sucks though. Oh my God, that the wording, the terminology. Some are pushing CEO Bob Iger to consider a bolder transformation in gaming, from gaming licensee to gaming giant. We can be the gaming giant. All we have to do is buy them. If we buy EA, we become the gaming giant. Holy hell. Now, granted, you're saying Sony loses again. The thing is, if Disney did that, games would remain multi-platform. But Disney fucking sucks. Like, just straight up, they suck, man. They don't know what they're doing in this space. I don't know. Like, I would, look, if Disney bought EA, I'm not going to jump to the conclusion that EA is just completely done. But I am going to heavily feel like, wow, it's probably only going to get worse from here. Like, it's difficult for me to see EA get better under Disney. Yeah, that's true. EA, in a lot of ways, does suck. But some things they've gotten better with, you know? I don't know. I just don't like this idea of Disney being their overlord and being like, I mean, oh man, it begins. They're going to put their politics and agenda in every single game. Oh, they'll fit in just perfect, won't they? They'll fit in just perfect. Disco Cobra 2013. Thank you, man. You're saying Disney owning anything at this point is garbage. Most, if not every property Disney has had a hand in has now turned to crap. This would be the nail in the coffin of EA if this happens. Dude, holy shit. You're absolutely right, Disco Cobra. Could you imagine a situation? Imagine like 3 years from now, Activision Blizzard is owned by Microsoft, EA is owned by Disney. Like, what happened? What happened? How did that happen so quickly? Oh, man. What is this? Sony 75-inch 4K Ultra HD TV X90K series Bravia XR with Dolby Vision HDR and exclusive features for the PS5. $998 on Amazon. Shit. Well, there you go. A lot of deals happening today. What is it, like Prime Day or something? That's so disappointing to hear, though. It's not surprising. It's just very, very disappointing. It really is. Let me I'm curious what people have to say about it. I accidentally clicked off of it. Let me see what some of the hot takes are on this report from Bloomberg. Mr. Matty Plays says, my heart skipped a beat just seeing the image without context. Okay. Disney used to publish their own games under the Disney Interactive label. They exited this market for a reason. I doubt EA will make it to the end of this decade as an independent. I agree with that. Let's buy the company that failed us during our initial push of Star Wars. Dude, that is so funny to think, though. EA did have some pretty big fuck-ups, man. They did. But I don't know. They had to course correct to a degree. I feel like EA's gotten a lot better lately, but they're far from perfect. Well, there it is, man. It could still happen. They're pushing. They're pushing to try to make this happen. God knows they have the licenses to fuel any massive studio, Marvel, Star Wars, Princesses, Legacy Disney, Fox properties, Alien, Terminator, Predator. Yeah. That's a $40 billion plus deal. Somebody in the chat here is screaming, enough with the fucking acquisitions. They're not going to stop. Dude, I'm telling you, man, this is exactly why Sony's probably out there right now. I'm telling you, Sony's probably out there talking to any publisher they can. Because this shit's getting crazy. I told you guys, it's escalation. This only escalates. It does not de-escalate. If the Activision Blizzard deal was blocked, this wouldn't even be this wouldn't be a thing right now. Or at least it would be way more unrealistic. Because Disney would have looked at what happened to Microsoft and said, do we want to go through that? It seems like it's not easy to get through these regulators. And we're Disney. We own everything. But that's not what happened. What is this shit? Purified water. Dude, this is fucking tap water. The fuck am I paying for? Now I'm getting pissed off, man. Seriously, that water tastes like absolute shit. That is tap water. I paid for tap water in a fucking bottle. Are you kidding me? What brand is this? I don't know what brand. That garbage brand. Now I'm pissed. I'm gonna start ranting about my water. Oh man. No, that tastes real bad though, man. What the hell? Premium tap water. I'm not joking. That tastes like tap water. I've had a lot of different bottled waters. Some taste better than others, but this is by far the worst. We love EA now, LOL. No, it's not that we love EA. It's just, dude, EA has struggles and they're far from perfect. But this idea that they'll improve under Disney, it's like, no. They'll get worse under Disney. For sure, like 100% guaranteed. 100%. Better than Microsoft, at least. I mean, yeah, that's true. That it is true. So, like, Disney, if they do end up acquiring EA, at least you'll know the one good thing is it'll remain multi-platform. If whoever Microsoft acquires, you can expect that's going to be stripped away from PlayStation. If they're able to strip it away from PlayStation, they will. We'll get Battlefront 3. Yeah, I wonder why they never did a Battlefront 3. I mean, I guess maybe it's just because of how poorly 2 went, maybe. Well, I'm not going to get that upset over it, truthfully. I'm not going to get that upset over the consolidation because it's just like, yeah, I knew this was going to happen. We're seeing an unprecedented deal take place between Activision Blizzard and Microsoft, and that basically opens the floodgates for, it's going to catch the eye of all these other companies where they're like, well, it's hunting season. We want a piece of this pie, and nothing's going to be able to stop them. And, I'm just still, more than anything, I'm just mostly curious about, I want to know what Sony is doing in this area. We talked last stream a little bit about this. William Aglor was here in the chat. I don't know if he's here now, but he was explaining that he was on the investor calls, and Sony's Hiroki Totoki. Hiroki Totoki is going to be the new interim CEO, and apparently this man has expressed great interest in buying like what seems to be like a bigger entity, like a publisher. Like he really is seemingly getting ready to try to push for this. So it'll be interesting, man. The big question I have is this. Totokism. Yeah, there we go. I genuinely wonder if Sony will try to do what Microsoft did. And what I mean by that is if Sony were to acquire a publisher, I wonder if they're going to make their future games exclusive or not. I wonder if they would be able to. I mean, I could kind of see Sony wanting to do that as a as a fuck you to Microsoft, because I'm sure Sony is not happy that Microsoft is doing this to them. But at the same time, business wise, realistically speaking, they might not be able to do that. In order to get the deal through, if they were to acquire a publisher, they would, there's a good chance they would have to agree to keep certain games multi-platform. But even just from a financial, money is money. From a financial point of view, this might be where it's like, well, you're going to mix emotion with business. It does happen, but in Sony's case, I don't see them doing that. It's worth noting that, again, Sony has proven they're willing to buy a big developer like they did with Bungie and let them be autonomous and say, yeah, you do what you want. So we'll see. It's, man, that would be another industry shaking acquisition though. If Disney purchased EA, that would be felt throughout the entire industry. And you know what? I really wonder how that would change the conversation around consolidation. Because Disney is not Microsoft in the sense that, one of the things that people rally around with Microsoft, which I kind of understand, is, well, Game Pass. Anything that Microsoft acquires, they can put in the Game Pass. And as a consumer, I'm okay with that because I can save money. And I get that. But this idea that consolidation will continue outside of Microsoft, that, I don't know, man. Disney is a greedy company. I mean, EA is greedy too. They're all greedy, but I don't know. Disney's been pretty notorious for being just not great at all. How long have I been live for? About 3 hours. Probably won't be live for too much longer, just because I don't want to artificially extend streams. I will end them earlier when I have to. I did expend all my topics. We're kind of just floating around now, doing kind of off the cuff stuff. Crooked Vulture, you're saying consolidation may result in the rise of a whole new slew of third party that will have a new opening to fill. Talent migrates towards creative freedom. That is true. Yeah, there's no doubt in my mind that as the industry continues to consolidate, we will see certain things kind of branch out in different directions. And I think we are kind of seeing that a little bit, but just, it's happening a little bit slower. And you're definitely right that talent does migrate towards creative freedom. And I don't know, man. I don't know how Disney is in this regard. Like I just see, honestly, I see people just dumping on Disney constantly on the internet. Like I don't see anybody saying anything good about Disney on the internet. And I don't really pay much attention to it because I don't really care about Disney that much. I don't even care about Marvel. I fell off of Marvel. Like the only thing I care about with Marvel is the next Deadpool movie. And that's about it. Maybe the next Avengers, possibly. I don't know. Maybe Blade, but that's about it. Like I've just lost interest. It's too, I'm like, look, Sony, they're doing Spider-Man 2 and they're doing Wolverine like that. I'm good with there. That's enough for me, truthfully. But when it comes to how Disney runs things and like the idea of them, would they allow more creative freedom? Would they, be stricter and more controlling? I don't know. MBG wants a Cinderella game. How'd you know? I'm not secretly rooting for this. You are. It'll be we have interesting times ahead, man. We do. I'll say this, and I think this will be where I kind of end this topic. There are basically two ways you can look at Sony PlayStation right now. From a business perspective, of course. On one hand, you can look at it as they're doing great. The PS5 selling great. They got Spider-Man 2 coming out. It's clearly going to sell very well. They have a lot of great partnerships still with Konami, Square Enix, many others. Their business is going well. PlayStation is very healthy financially. They're not in a bad spot. They have studios, obviously. Things are going well. You could look at it that way because those are true things, yes. But there's another way that we can also look at it. Yeah, they're still in first place, like they're still the market leader. And I'll let you know what that way is in just a second because we have Jake Skew 27. Jake, guys, let's get some W's in the chat for Jake.
Thank
he
you.
comes in and he
Appreciate
keeps the membership train going strong today with another membership gifted. He brings us up to 72. Guys, we are 3 members away. 3 members from hitting our second milestone of 75, which is crazy. Leia just for some reason came over and is looking at me like she's trying to tell me, "What do you want to leave? You want to get out?" All right. Well, we're almost done here. We're almost done here, Leia. All right. Relax. But Jake, dude, thank you so much for that, man. Saying just woke up, MBG. Well, you're a little bit late to the stream. We're over the 3-hour mark now, but I appreciate you joining, man. I do want to say the second way you can look at Sony, and I think it's important to acknowledge this aspect as well. I think people go too far with it. I think people become way too like doom and gloom, like, oh, it's bad. Like, it can be. It's a little bit concerning. It's something Sony has to be aware of. And when you see stuff like this, this week, apparently this Friday, Microsoft's going to close the Activision deal. We're seeing a rumor now that Disney is considering purchasing EA. Sony has to be worried about how they're going to remain like in this very healthy position. And I think people get very upset, and I understand. I do. I'm not being an apologist here. I'm just trying to be a realist. People get very upset when they see things like what we see today, right? Like, why is the digital model $50 more expensive? Why is Sony raising the price of PlayStation Plus? Why isn't Sony putting their exclusives day one into PS Plus like Microsoft is with Game Pass? But the reality is that people need to understand Sony is not Microsoft. And that means something very significant in terms of business and finances. Microsoft can afford to do literally whatever they want, however long they want. Microsoft can bleed anybody in this industry. They can bleed them dry, and they can wait it out. And that's how they can win. They can give you the best deal for who knows how long, a year, 2 years, a whole generation if they need to. Sony, like, this isn't a matter of like, oh man, we got to feel bad for Sony's money. No, it's not that. It's just, you need to understand that from a business level, Sony has to be aware that every decision you make, like, you're either going to be heading in the direction of sustainability and profitability, or you're not. And there's pros and cons to both sides. The cons to what we're seeing Sony do right now, right, is they're clearly very much embracing, like, we're looking to be profitable and sustainable. Like, we're not a charity. We're not trying to give you a handout. And that's just that. We know you'll be upset about it, but this is how we're going to continue to grow and make our money, so on and so forth. And the con to that is it looks really bad, especially when your competition Microsoft is doing the opposite of that. So it looks bad. It does. But at the same time, like, I think it's kind of funny that people don't seem to realize that if Sony tried to do something radically different, I mean, like radically different, like we are doing day one games exclusives into PS Plus, or we are just going to drop the price of PS Plus, or whatever. We're just going to constantly sell our hardware at a discount. It would probably hurt Sony like substantially, like to a degree in which it's like, well, your business isn't growing. It's actually like shrinking, right? Like, yeah, you're making the consumer happy. From a consumer standpoint, it's good, but from a bottom line perspective, it's not going good. Saying MBG, how do we know that? Because Jim told us. Well, no, it's just when you look at Sony's finances or their financial reports, it's pretty clear that, like, let me put it to you this way. Sony is very susceptible. I think that's the word I'm looking for. Because I think a lot of people are going to listen to something like this and assume, oh, well, you're just saying we should worry about Sony's money. No, do not worry about Sony's money. But just be aware that they are susceptible. Like, they are not invincible at all. You know, they do not have. Hey, please don't chew my lights. Thank you. They do not have the ability to just coast and bleed money for an extended period of time. They did that, actually. They did that already during the early PS3 days, and it nearly killed them. It nearly killed them. And make no mistake, Sony is absolutely terrified of ever having to get back to that position. It was truly sink or swim. And they did the right thing, of course, and that's why people, you know, love them so much during that time. But it's just they are very susceptible. You know, people talk about Sony's games as a service a lot, right? Like, oh, this could really hurt them. Like, yeah, it really, really could. You know, like if it could hurt their reputation, it could hurt their bottom line. And how much money did you invest into this? You bought studios for this, and is it working? It could hurt them. Absolutely could hurt them. It could hurt them if here's an example, right? Let's say Sony announces a new AAA IP next year and it releases in early 2025 and it's from Ben's studio and Sony put $180 million, $200 million into this game and it flops. Do you know how fucking badly that would damage Sony, like PlayStation? It would damage them severely because that's huge. I mean, that would be, I don't say it would be crippling to them, but it would severely hurt them. And that's assuming they don't have a safety net of like a successful live service. Like, oh, our AAA game didn't sell as much and we're taking a loss on it, like a substantial loss, but it's okay because the money we're making from our live service is evening it out, right? Hold on. Why you gotta be like this? Sorry, guys. Leia she had to leave. She was screaming at the door. And I'm not saying that like it's okay if Microsoft has a flop. Obviously, Microsoft doesn't want that either, right? No video game publisher. Same thing with like Disney and EA. Like they don't want flops. But it's just when we talk about a company like Microsoft, it's Xbox has the support of a multi-trillion-dollar company now, and the way it used to be is they didn't really have that type of support. Like they didn't have trillions of dollars to rely on. They had a budget. Like you can only spend this much and you got to use this much and make a profit. And they couldn't do it. Like they kept failing over and over again. And that's when they finally stepped in and they were like, okay, look, we'll give you one more shot. How much money do you need to make it happen? We'll give you any amount of money you need. You need 68 billion? Here's 68 billion. Need 7.5 billion more? There you go. Here's 7.5 billion. How many more billions you need? And that's Microsoft is okay doing that because number one, they can easily afford to do it. And number two, that's what they've done many times. And it works. It works. But Sony, they can't. This is why I'm saying, like, Sony can't just say, okay, we need to spend $15 billion on a major acquisition. They can't just do that. I mean, they could, but it's like that is insanely risky for their entire company, like for the entire business. You're saying what MBG is trying to say is that if Microsoft could buy Sony, they would, but they can't, so they haven't. Yeah, that's true. That's absolutely true. Yeah, and who could blame Microsoft? Microsoft, if they could buy Sony, they would, and that would be, yeah, why not? Right? Like if they could do it, if I was Microsoft and if I could do it, I'd be like, yeah, dude, that shit's, there you go. We got everything we're lacking right now. And just like that. But I guess I'm just trying to, this is really long-winded, but I guess what I'm just trying to say is that I'm not happy about Sony making the business decisions that they do sometimes that clearly come off as we need more money, we want more money, and we're going to get more money from, our customers. And that's just how it's going to be. It does come off like an Apple approach and whatnot. And it is especially tough to like see them doing this again at a time when their competition is very much saying, we'll give you the best deal and we'll give you more games. And I get it. Like, and I understand why there's so many arguments that are like, well, Sony needs to do what Microsoft is doing. I get that. But no, Rockley Rob, I do agree. Wholeheartedly. $30 for a stand is ridiculous. Guys, don't buy that stand. Please, God, don't. I don't want to tell you what to do with your money, but I would highly suggest don't. Because that's, I don't understand that. I don't. And we're going to have to see, man, because look, putting my opinion aside, my opinion doesn't really mean anything here. I mean, maybe on the stream, but I mean, generally speaking, my opinion on this type of stuff doesn't mean anything because I don't get to make the decisions. I don't get to decide if people are actually going to be upset about, what Sony, like, oh, the digital model's $50 more. The vertical stand is $30 sold separately. I realize you guys can't see. Let me get rid of this. You guys can't see Boss. He's just chilling here. I don't get to decide if people actually care about that because because I already know some people have a problem with that, and they're going to voice that. Most people probably don't care, and are going to just buy it anyway. And what we're probably going to learn is that Sony is making even more money now and doing even better because they made these decisions. So I guess I'm just saying there's like this disconnect where, and it exists all throughout all industries where, people will say like, oh, this is bad and this is horrible, but there's just such a large group of, and I get it. Maybe some people say that it's just consumerism, right? Like people will buy anything, and maybe that's true, but it's just like, how do you stop it? I mean, the best I can do is say, maybe think twice about buying that $30 stand. I'm not going to judge somebody if they do. Like if you want that vertical stand and you want to put your console vertically, whatever, some people, $30 to them isn't a big deal for something like that. But I guess just what I'm trying to say is we don't want to see Sony get too crazy with it. Yeah, with the milkification here. We don't want to see them get too crazy. I do worry a little bit, and I don't want to be doom and gloom. I do worry a little bit, right? When I see stuff like this where it's like, I don't know, man. It could have been handled better. certainly. But this is the way they're choosing to do it, and it's just I don't want to speak as if what I'm going to say is the be all end all, because it's not. Yeah, no one's going to force you to buy it. You're going to see, I'm sure there are people on the other end right now having extreme reactions where it's like, Sony is a fucking joke. Sony is the fucking worst. And it's like, I mean, you can have that opinion, but I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, this console's still going to sell fine, man. The Spider-Man 2 is going to sell great. I mean, are they the worst? I don't know. They're not. They're not. You just don't like them, and I get it. And you're upset that, well, you're not even upset. You just right now the easy thing to do is to absolutely obliterate Sony for some of these decisions. But I think the message has been sent that Sony doesn't give a shit about, the small groups of people on the internet that are going to, go ballistic and freak out and hate on them and make it sound like they're making the worst decisions ever. I'm not blaming some of these people for doing what they do. Some of it is, I think, justified. Like even me, even I'm a little bit surprised. Like, what the hell are you doing with the stand here? But I guess I'm just saying, like, dude, it's been proven that these people are a vocal minority. And that's all I'm trying to say, I guess. And I'm not saying that to defend Sony. I'm just saying it as a way to explain to people why we are seeing Sony do what they do. They'll say, oh, it's people like you to just buy anything. I'm not buying this. I don't just buy anything Sony puts out. I buy the things that I actually am interested in that Sony puts out. And I think 99.9% of people do. Is there that 1% that will buy literally anything Sony releases? Yes. But they're a minority as well. That's not, like, again, 99% of people are not doing that. 99% of people are buying products that they actually are interested in. And that's why I think it's funny to see something like the PlayStation Portal selling out, because it's like the way people acted about this device, you would have thought this thing is not going to sell more than 100 units. And meanwhile, it's selling out places. It's like, well, clearly people want this. I don't think there are people out there buying this just for the sake of it. I mean, could there be a small group of people buying it thinking it's actually a dedicated portable PS5? Maybe. But man, you'd have to be pretty unaware to think that. So yeah, I just think that this is kind of the pattern we've seen, right? We've seen this pattern throughout this entire generation so far. Sony makes a decision regarding money and price. Small vocal minority gets upset. They yell. They make videos. They make memes. They leave snarky comments. Sony makes a bunch of money. Most people don't care. I'd say like 95 to 99% of people just simply don't care. The market speaks, and the market says we're fine with this. Sony gets that message, and they rinse and repeat. Dude, I mean, that's what it is. Like, I understand that, like, there's people out there that are trying to get this, like, don't support Sony. Like, let me ask you, remember we had the conversation? I want to prove this point. Remember we talked about what Sony did with PlayStation Plus? Yeah. What do you think happened? I mean, what do you think happened? I think it's pretty obvious what happened. I think a very small group of people unsubscribed, and like the overwhelming majority of people didn't unsubscribe. And now Sony gets to report that we're making more money on PlayStation Plus, and we don't have to worry about dealing with a bunch of loss. I'm not advocating for that. I'm not saying that's great. Everything's great. I'm just saying that's the fucking reality. And whether anybody knows it or not, that is the reality of all of these companies and these businesses. The day is going to come when Microsoft has enough power. And I'm not trying to look, I'm not here to bitch about Microsoft. I'm just pointing out a reality. The day will come where Phil Spencer's not going to be the head of Xbox anymore. Eventually, somebody's going to come in there and inherit everything he made happen with these acquisitions, with Game Pass. And eventually, the day is going to come where when Microsoft determines they have enough power, they're going to start pushing for more money across the board. And anybody who thinks this is not what's going to happen, I don't know why you wouldn't think that. This is what's going to happen with everything. It's not just it's with PlayStation right now. It's with Nintendo. It's been with Nintendo. But Microsoft is not some kind of charity either. You know? And I'm just trying to get people to brace themselves for just the cost of, you can clearly see the cost of everything is going up. And right now there are a few select companies that can just wait it out, like I said, and they will. And I just think people need to be more understanding and aware that anytime you get a good deal, embrace that good deal. Absolutely. I want that deal too. I would like to save money too. Absolutely. I'm right there with you, but just be aware that you are not getting that deal because this company is trying to save you, they care about saving you money. Right? They care about your bottom dollar. They don't. They're just trying to get you in, and then once you get in, well, they'll do everything they can to keep you there, and eventually, and Sony does it too. Sony's doing it too, to be clear. It's just the way it is, man. And they're going to exploit you any chance they get. Any chance they get to exploit you, anytime they think they can get more money from you, they're going to do it because that is literally their job. That is what they're there to do. They're there to get more money from you. And I just think that at the end of the day, it's the same as it's ever been. The market speaks, man. The market will determine, are we okay with giving our money to this or are we not? And in turn, you see things that succeed, you see things that fail. The things that fail, the market has determined, we don't want this. We're not going to pay for this. We're not going to buy it. And you know how that happens? It never happens in the way you think. It never happens there was this massive movement, maybe on rare occasion, but everybody stood up and gamers united. No, just people are that sucks. And then they just walk away. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it is. They just, yeah, no, I'm good. And they walk away. They're not sitting there bitching and moaning. They're not raising their fist. They're not screaming. They just walk away. And the company before you know it, the company's like, what? Where is everybody? They left because they don't like your product. They don't like what you did. So figure it out. I mean, I know all this is obvious. At least it should be obvious. All this should be obvious, but it's just I don't know how anybody can expect Sony to come out here and make different decisions when they're constantly being told by the market this is fine. And that's what it is, man. It is. I did not like the fact that Sony increased the price of PlayStation Plus. I even said multiple times that I wouldn't even pay for PS Plus if I didn't need it to play online. I don't really care that much about the monthly games. Occasionally we get some good games and I'm appreciative of that. Yeah, that's great. Nice benefit, you know? But I wasn't for it. But I knew. I'm dude, people are going to be fine with this. Generally speaking, people are going to they're going to throw fit for a day and they're going to move on. And they're going to go play their PS5s and they're going to go buy PS5 games. They're going to enjoy. They're going to go play the Call of Duty beta, the whole 9 yards. Beta, whatever. Beta. They're going to play the beta. And it's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. And do you think Microsoft isn't watching this? Microsoft wishes they could do this. They do, but they know that they have to play the long game. They have to play the long game. Nintendo does it too. Nintendo does it even more aggressively than Sony does. Sony wishes they could do what Nintendo does. And it's just so funny that you got Nintendo, Sony, and Microsoft, and they're kind of in this line where Nintendo pushes the hardest, so Sony pushes, but they're not pushing as hard, but they're getting there. And Microsoft feels like they can't push at all because they gotta win people over and they gotta win them into their service. But at the end of the day, the common thread between all three of these companies is they want more of your money. They want more of your money, and there's no way around it. You know, you can cut it any way you want. I don't pay $70 for Sony games because I want to give them $70, because Sony, I want to give you my $70. I pay $70 for Sony games because I like their games and I think they're good. And when they say that's how much we're going to charge, I ask myself, do I want to pay that to access this game? And the answer is simply, yes, I do. And so I buy it, right? And it's just, that's what pretty much everybody else is doing. There are people that, you know, it's just so funny to me because it's like I see so many people who are like, oh man, Spider-Man 2, it's just another sequel. Who cares? It's just the same game. It's the same game. I'm not buying it. It's like, dude, do you think Sony gives a fucking shit about you? They don't care. They're going to take the guy behind you. His money's like, I want that. They're fucking moving you out of the way, bro. Like that, you know? So it's just, that's what I'm saying. I don't know why people think their opinions hold so much weight. And that's why I started this by saying, like, what I have to say doesn't really matter in terms of the outcome. It doesn't. I don't speak for the market. I can't speak for the market. I probably couldn't even influence the market if I tried, right? Like, the market has a mind of its own, and it's a collective thing that it does what it does. And, you know, people are going to do what they're going to do. And you look at a game like Modern Warfare 3, right? Like, Modern Warfare 3 is the literal same game as the game that came out last November. And Activision says, we're going to charge $70 for this, and you're going to buy it. And the market is going to say, we will buy it. You know why? Because, let's face it. Hey, stop chewing my wire. Stop that. Dude, I swear, man, my cat's there. I'm saying the market's going to say we're going to buy it because, let's face it, the market won't just buy anything. And Activision knows this. Activision isn't stupid. Activision says, well, what do you think they would buy? Well, they love nostalgia. But what if we just remake every Modern Warfare 2 map? Oh, there you go. There you go. And you know what? What if we make zombies? Get this. You ready? Open world. Oh, shit. How are we going to do that? Well, we got this like Warzone map. We could just take that and like put zombies in it. Oh, shit. And it's like, it sounds silly where it's like, dude, who would pay for that? You know how many people are going to pay for that? And I can't even be angry with them. I can't, because why? Because it's like, I get it, man. Like, they're excited to play those old maps, but remade. They're excited for this open world. And it's like, you know, there's just this, I guess what I'm saying is like, there's this group of like bitter, angry people that are like, fuck Call of Duty. Call of Duty sucks. You guys are the worst. It's like, dude, the market doesn't give a fuck what you have to say. And neither does Activision. Like, they're in their own space, enjoying the shit out of what they're doing. Activision is enjoying the money they're making. And these people are enjoying giving them their money because they're enjoying what they're getting in return. And I guess it's just, at what point do people fucking wake up and realize that you enter these small minority groups where it's almost like it's like support groups, right? Where it's like people have to support each other. It's like, yeah, this is so messed up. This is so wrong. Like, I hate this, and it changed. It's like, dude, no one cares. Like, I don't mean to be so cynical or so rude about it, but it's like, no one fucking cares. Dude, you gotta stop. I don't know. Maybe the MVG Hopelessness podcast. I know I sound so apathetic and nihilistic right now, but it's true, dude. I wish it could be a different way, but it's not. Like, I wish I could say right now, Sony, don't charge $30 for a separate stand to go vertical. Undo that. And instead, ship a stand that can do both like you do now. I wish I could just do that. And it's like, they'd be like, you know what? You're absolutely right. We'll get on that right now. We're going to reverse that. Sony, please make it so that I only have to pay $20 a year for a new tier of PlayStation Plus. Right? For a new tier of PlayStation Plus so I can just access multiplayer. Oh, we'll get right on that. But that's the thing is, like, here are my options. It's either I either say I'm done and I'm walking away because I'm just not I'm not good with this, you know, or I just be realistic about it and understand that, well, I'm not happy about this, but nothing's going to change. You know, like this is just the reality of the situation. I can't do anything about it. And that's that. You know? So anyway, I guess in conclusion, what I'm trying to say is give Sony all your money because you're going to give it to them anyway. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I don't know that there's some kind of big grand conclusion. I know I'm rambling a bit here. I mean, it's, you know, we're 3.5 hours into the stream. It's bound to happen. Generally speaking, I just think that there are two different ways that a company can go about announcing things like this. They can go way over the line, and in doing so, they immediately have to go all the way back because you just went too far. Okay? So, Sony, what do you mean you're going to charge $550 for a digital PS5? See, Sony's not Sony knows we can't charge $550 for a digital PS5. Are you kidding me? People would fucking lose their minds. They would. Everybody would lose. The market would lose their fucking minds. So Sony says, but what if we charge $50 more? Will they lose their minds then? Well, you'll have a few angry people, but no, generally speaking, people are just going to be okay with that. Like, you know, they'll throw a fit for a couple hours or a day and they'll move on and you'll sell a bunch of digital PS5s for $450. This is Sony has mastered this. And I don't necessarily know that I'm in agreement with it, but it's just, you know, yeah, it is ironic. It is ironic that normally with stuff like this, you get a price cut, but instead there's a price increase. So it's like, well, fuck, man. Why? Corps are in control. I mean, they are, man. They are. They absolutely are. Dark Horse with a $10 super chat. He says, I would not go as far as no one cares. It's more of, do you think the fan base can stomach that upcharge? I believe this will lead to the second collapse of the gaming industry. I know. Like, I don't mean to say that no one cares. I'm being hyperbolic, obviously. There are plenty of people that do care. I guess I'm just saying that there's like a whole generation of people with these really successful games that have walked away from these games over time, right? Like GTA Online. I was gonna say Minecraft, but I don't know enough about Minecraft. But GTA Online, Call of Duty, maybe even Fortnite. And I'm sure there's plenty of others. Like, there's many other games you could insert here. I mean, these are generations. These are games that have went generations now, and a whole generation of gamers have walked away from them, being like, you know, it started out great, it changed for the worse. I made like YouTube videos talking about it, or I joined groups where we talk about it, and it's like there's definitely a community here of people that agree, but they find out that it's like, yeah, that's a generation that has like lapsed, right? Like they have removed themselves from this game, and yet the game itself is just totally, like, it's doing better than it ever has. Why do you think that is? Because I think some people believe, like, if I leave and I see other people leaving, shit must be in trouble, right? Shit's not going good. And sometimes that is the case, but it's rare. But no, in this case, it's no, man, like a whole new generation has taken your place, and this generation is actually loves what they're doing, right? They love what this company is doing with this brand that you enjoy. And I just think people have trouble getting over shit. Truthfully, I think that's what it comes down to. And I know about this because I was like this with Xbox, where it's like, it took me a long time to just get over the fact that, dude, you don't fucking like Xbox anymore. Like, there was a time you loved them and they were your favorite, and they just, they went in a different direction, and you bitched and you moaned and you bitched and you moaned, and it turns out that your bitching and moaning did absolutely nothing, at least for the brand. And I even bitched about how I couldn't understand what people, like, why are people celebrating that they're doing this? Like, this isn't what Xbox is, blah, blah, blah. It's like, no, dude, like, we do like this. You don't, and you're on the outside. So either join or move on. And that's where I realized, like, you're right. I'm going to just move along now and focus on what I do enjoy. And that's that, Swagbag says, man, I was diehard with Xbox. And that's fine. Like, that's the natural way of things, dude. And I've come to realize that it's just, there is a group, believe it or not, there is a group of PlayStation fans that feel like the PS5 generation is where things took a dark turn, or like things changed too much, and they want things to go back. I want things to go back to the way they were with the PS4 or even the PS3. And I understand that, but it's like, it's not going to happen, because do you not see that there's a whole new generation of people that really like and support what Sony's doing now, even more so than what they were doing back then? And yeah, that's just the way these things occur, man. So I do find that after an in-depth conversation like this, or discussion, because I enjoy these conversations. Maybe they go a little bit off the rails, they become a little bit hyperbolic. I find that there's almost like this need for, okay, well, what's the answer then? Like, I'm talking about all these different things. I'm highlighting some not so great things. I'm highlighting certain realities. There's almost like this desire for an answer. Like, well, what is the answer, MBG? Like, you're speaking like there is some kind of answer, and the answer, unfortunately, is very boring and very bland, and I could have just led with the answer, and if I did, I wouldn't have had nearly as much time to ramble, but the answer is incredibly boring. The answer is simply, if you like it and you want it, go to it. If you do not, go away from it. If you do that, you'll be much happier in life. That is the answer. That is the answer. That is the answer. And that answer is so fucking boring to so many people, they can't even fathom doing that. So what do you mean? I can't hate this thing? You can. You're not going to get anywhere. I mean, maybe you'll feel a little bit better momentarily, but it won't change a goddamn thing. Well, so you're saying I should just walk away? You should just walk away. But if I walk away, well, what then? I don't know. Maybe you'll find something you fucking like. I'm telling you, that's the answer. And it's such a boring, mundane, uninteresting answer that a lot of people just don't want to accept that. Like, they don't want to accept that the answer on the consumer level is that simple. If you like it and you want it, go towards it. If you don't, just walk away. Because whether people know it or not, that is the only language that these companies speak. You see a lot of PR bullshit. You see a lot of marketing nonsense that tries to convince you that we're listening to you and we care about you. Like, no, you don't. The only thing you care about is, are you making money from us or not? Yeah, I saw that floating around, a Titanfall 3 reveal trailer leaked or something. Oh my God. People are going to go nuts for that. See, if that's true, if we get a Titanfall 3, that's a rare instance of people bringing something back from the dead, man. Because Titanfall 2, I believe, failed not because apparently it was a great game. There's a lot of fans, but EA made the mistake of releasing it in the same week, I think, as Battlefield 1, which was like, what? And I think at that time, Battlefield obviously had more brand power. Actually says, MBG, make sure you take off your socks and put your feet on some grass when you're done. You need a good grounding from Mother Earth. I do. I don't mean to be so negative, guys. I know critical. Some people are saying it's not negativity. It's just me basically venting a little bit of my frustration, where it's like I'm sick and tired of so much negativity being put. And granted, I know I can. Here, look. Let me back up. Let me start again. The problem that I struggle with is there are times where I feel like I have to be critical towards PlayStation, and I don't mind doing that. I want to do that when I feel as though it's necessary, because even though I understand that my opinion, if it's a critical one, isn't going to change Sony's decision, but I have, an audience of people here that might want to hear that. They want to know why, what are your thoughts? And if they're critical, why? Elaborate. And I love doing that. The problem is that for some reason these days, things have become so extreme where if you are positive about something and you have something good to say, even if especially if it's an unpopular opinion, like I feel good about this thing that a lot of people feel bad about, it just becomes an extreme thing, right? Like it almost invites lunacy, even when you're not trying. Like, oh my God, you have an unpopular opinion. Time to fucking go nuts on this guy, right? But it's just as bad in the other direction when like on the other end of the spectrum, where if I am critical about something, there are people that get very like, well, like you're going way too far out there, man. You're being too crazy about it, or you're being too negative or too volatile or whatever. And it's just like, it just is so frustrating that it seems like the more that the extreme opinions are allowed to be relevant and rise to the top in some instances, the more difficult it makes it for anybody else, including myself, to have just normal and relatively like balanced discussions about things, where it's like, it's not. And in turn, I end up kind of getting sucked into that a little bit, where it's like, look, is it a bit hyperbolic and extreme for me to say no one cares if you have a negative opinion on something? Yes. I'm sure there are some people who care. And all I'm really trying to say in that moment is, look, man, I get it. You're frustrated, but it's not. I just don't think it's going to result in anything. I don't think it's going to help you out. And the same can be said for people who get so overly defensive, like they're so positive and defensive. It's like, look, man, if you like the PlayStation Portal, that's all that matters. Buy it and enjoy it. That's its purpose. That's why Sony made it. They made it for you. But you see one person, a couple people, maybe a small group of people, whether it's Twitter, YouTube comments, wherever it might be, Facebook, wherever. And this is pointless. Who would buy this? Why would anybody buy this? Why would anybody support this? And son is, well, and you get defensive. Like, I would buy that. Like, what the fuck? You feel the need to get defensive. Like, don't even. Don't. Again, it is as simple as, if you want it, go to it. If you don't, walk away. Anything in between that means nothing. That is the point. This is the mantra. that people need to embrace because it will lead to a better life. It will lead to a better life, people. All right, let's see. Dark Horse with another chat saying, "What if Microsoft buys EA next?" I don't think they could. I don't think there's any chance that Microsoft would be able to own, EA or Activision Blizzard and EA. I think that would definitely get blocked. I think Disney could get EA. I think Amazon could get EA. I think another big Titan company could get EA, but I don't think Microsoft could. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think Microsoft can get any more publishers. I think they would really run into some problems. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't know how these things work. I don't. Like I don't know if it's like, okay, we barely scraped by getting Activision Blizzard, but we did get them. I don't know if that pretty much guarantees that if we were to try to pursue another very large acquisition, it's like guaranteed it would fail, or if it's actually the opposite, where it's more likely you can get it through. You did it once, you can do it again. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Well, guys, in conclusion, PlayStation's the best, and buy every single thing they make. Keep giving Sony your money. Make sure you buy not only the digital version of this new PS5, but the disc-based version as well. And make sure you buy 2 stands for it, okay? And if you're not subscribed to PlayStation Plus Premium, subscribe to PlayStation Plus Premium. Buy Spider-Man 2. If you can, buy 2 copies. If you want to go the extra mile, you buy 3 copies of Spider-Man 2, okay? We got to show them their support. They need our support. Okay, this is what it means to embrace Totokism. Only 2 stands? You know what? You're right. Make it a third. You might end up getting a third one. I mean, the Pro might need one too. Okay? And yes, that is it. That is all that is my conclusion to this conversation. Oh, make sure you pre-order if you're able to, because we know they're sold out. 2 PlayStation portals, not just one, because you never know when you might need that second one. You got to have one in the bathroom at all times. You got to have one maybe somewhere else in your home. Oh. Dude, so there's like people here like, Totokism? What the fuck are you talking about? If you know, you know. Yeah, make sure you buy all the DLC too. Yo, do you think Insomniac's going to go crazy with Spider-Man 2 DLC? Cuz what did they have, 3 DLC packs for Spider-Man 1? Right? And they were pretty good, weren't they? Dude, wasn't one of those DLCs for Spider-Man a fucking like mob boss that became a robot? Or did I like hallucinate that? Was that a thing? I swear that was a thing. Dude, that was the craziest shit. Like, what are they doing right now? They had 4 DLCs? Did they? Yeah, they're probably going to go all out with DLC for Spider-Man 2, which is even more impressive if they can do it, because it's like, dude, when do you guys rest? When do you guys rest? But I think that's going to do it for this stream, guys. It definitely went longer than I thought it would. I thought this stream would actually end sooner than it did, because that PlayStation model news just came out at the last second, and I'm glad we were able to cover it. I probably will cover it in a video tomorrow. I don't know how many people just simply don't tune into my streams. I keep seeing people in my comment section when I make videos saying, we love it when you make these types of videos. And I appreciate those comments. I always just get a little bit confused though. Like, do people think I'm not making those videos anymore? I still do. I make like regular short format videos, usually 3 days a week. And I do 3 streams a week, 3 videos a week, and 1 piece of members content on Saturday. So, all right. let me see here. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Any cleanup I got to do here? Nope. I think we are good. And let me just check one thing here. All right, guys. So listen, we have over 300 people here, okay? I'm going to ask you right now. I want a big push. Help me out here. I want everybody, if you're able to, please hit that like button on the stream. Okay? It's really important you do this. We're at 470 likes. And we have more likes than normal, and I think that's because we got like an influx of people. This is a great opportunity to kind of get these streams out there in front of new faces, in front of new people, so we can grow the community. Okay. If you enjoy these streams, and I know many of you do, just take a second, hit that like button as you're leaving. It really does help. And with that being said, I want to make sure I give you guys a massive, absolutely massive thank you. Really. We are ending the stream today with 72 memberships, which is incredible. I mean, most of these came in the form of membership gifts. We also had quite a few super chats. And, I don't know what else to say. I've been thanking you guys. I've been, I do fear that I sound like a completely broken record, but you deserve it. You do. You deserve all the praise, all the thanks. And I'm very impressed by this community. You always continue to show up. There are some community members here that just continue to do gifting. And it's really a sight to behold. It is. So without gushing too much about this community, thank you. If you've supported me, you know who you are. I just want you to know it goes so far. It goes way further than you probably even realize. And without that support, I literally couldn't do this. And I love being able to do this. So thank you guys. You guys are making dreams come true here. You're doing it. You're making dreams come true. And you're the best. And so I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day. Hopefully there wasn't too much negativity. Dude, at some point over the course of the stream, we went to some dark places, but we went to a lot of good places too. So I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed the stream. And I also want to make sure I give a shout out to Devil Shooter. Devil Shooter does a fantastic job with the timestamps. If you see him in the comments, I know it means a lot to him. Leave him a comment underneath his timestamps, thanking him, telling him how much you appreciate his hard work. And yeah, big shout out to you, Devil Shooter, for always doing that. And yeah, that does it, guys. I plan to have a video out tomorrow, so look forward to that. And then we will have another stream ready to go, same time, same place, Thursday. Okay, I'm sure most of you are aware by now, but the streaming schedule is Tuesday, Thursday, Sunday, and we'll see what we have to discuss then. So, all right, guys, that does it. Be safe, be kind to one another, and enjoy the rest of your day. I will catch you all in the next one. So until then, take care.